I'm a skeptical robot.
Are you guys ready?
猫のグミグレープゼリーみたいな毛並みマイクと腹をかき捨ててリンクサイドに座るワードを指示する猫の髪帽子に指輪が入ってるよドラップキスフレックスマットはどこ紫猫の髪彼にはキックのイメージと秘密のダジャレがあるレスリングのカオス彼こそがそれだエルボードロック彼にはジョークがある彼は解説の王者だボディスラムと紫のフレア神の声がどこにでも響く
Everybody. Wow. Thank you for being here. Now, who is this adorable demon that I have next to me?
I am 666 Ami.
666 Ami. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We have a great show planned for you. We know you could be so many different places. We are so thankful that you're here with us tonight. Thank you for being here. Please hit the like button, everybody. We have a very special guest, already an immediate fan favorite because he was so great the last time he was here, and we don't want to waste this man's time. He's very important. Please welcome Mr. Pat Dixon. Hello, Mr. Pat Dixon.
The devil.
Hail Satan, everybody. Hail Satan. Hail
Am I
Satan.
doing that right? I don't know.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Pat Dixon. You were such a fantastic guest the last time you were here. We couldn't wait to have you back, and we appreciate your time, and we appreciate you being here.
I remember that. Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't remember the fan favorite part. I just remember being here. You know.
Trust me. Fan favorite.
People love it. So, well, before anything, Pat, I have a gift for you. So, last time I was on your show, my lovely lady came up with a phrase that you seem to fall in love with, which was Fuditol.
Fuditol, yeah, the drug.
Yes.
Ask your doctor if Fuditol is right for you. Yeah.
Yes. So now I want to present something to you, Luigi, if you will.
Here we go.
Say, are you a man in your 40s, bereft of the love and companionship of a woman? Is it due to your lack of confidence? Lack of experience? All those years wasted with nothing to show for it? Well, now you're in luck. The magical cure of Fuditol. Yes, it'll give you the necessary confidence to pursue the life you want with a woman. A real one, you know, with breasts and a vagina. So what are you waiting for? You can have it all with Fuditol. Talk to your doctor about Fuditol. Warning, side effects may include jealousy, obsessiveness, paranoia, and cuckoldry.
Cuckoldry?
Cuckoldry. Look how happy they look, man. We got to get some of that for Karmic.
Yes. Well, shout outs to Douglas Nelson for doing the voiceover.
Oh, was that Doug?
Yeah. After this show, I will send this video to you so you can use it for like when you have your breaks and stuff. That's all yours.
Oh,
bro.
fantastic, man. Thank you so much.
I know you love that word, so I want to do a little something for you. So thank you for just being so kind to us.
Yes, thank you very much. We hope you like that. And it's funny, that was the first time I watched it. Gummi made me promise that I would not watch it.
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
That was great. That was really, really funny.
Yeah, great scenes. Great outfit too, man.
Yeah,
that was
do all the
great.
corny stuff of running on the beach and white people dancing to salsa music and
all that stuff.
Hey, Mr. Hamhead, thank you for the $6.66.
Oh, that was timed perfectly.
That was timed really great. Thank you very much, Mr. Hamhead. Let's see here. I haven't given you one of these in a while. How about this? Hamhead pays for farts. And we like to provide them. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Now, tonight's episode is actually going to be the first of a series, a short series that we're going to be doing on something that was called the Satanic Panic of the 1980s and early 1990s. And Pat, because you were such a fan favorite with the last episode, you were the first person I thought of for this episode because there is a lot of parallels to the McDonald's hot dog circumstances or events, I should say.
Really?
And we're going to see a lot, and it's kind of hard to explain up front, but we're going to see a lot of very similar circumstances that I think you're going to enjoy. It was a lot of the stuff that you seem to appreciate when addressing topics. Cool. Specifically, lies getting out of hand, the public not questioning the facts of what they were being told in the news. Were a lot of the same, very similar circumstances.
It's a little weird talking about this stuff because it all happened before I was born, but in '94. But it is interesting, this kind of recent history.
Yes. I'm 17 years old. I had to be told about this stuff. But tell me real quick. I know that you're not much older than us, but tell me what you know, just from like a very cursory memory of what the Satanic Panic was, provided your experience. I think you were born in the 70s, correct?
Yeah, 1970 in the South, and so I grew up in a town that was very. It's a Pentecostal type town with a lot. There's like a church for every day of the year, and the Pentecostals, speak in tongues and stuff like that. Now, I never went to a church like that, or I never belonged to a church like that, but it was highly religious minded, and so I was kind of in the perfect place for the Satanic Panic, and I heard a lot about it. The certain symbols, you always had to be on the lookout for. And they were always educating us about backward masking and rock music and how bad it is, and it was really something. And it all, of course, goes back to our good friend down below, Satan, and it's
Old Scratch, Mr. Beelzebub.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, this is going to sound crazy because of the fact that I've now taken such a stance. I did grow up in a Pentecostal church. or maybe that explains everything about me. I was
the gooby goo. Did you do that?
I didn't do it, but I don't want to bore you, but basically I was just born skeptical and I just laughed at those people. And I have so many experiences of a pastor telling me that, I wasn't participating in the nonsense, and therefore I was the problem. I remember one time there was someone going around putting his hands on people's heads, and people were being slain. They were falling over, and I remember at that moment I was open to a religious experience, and I kind of shut my eyes, and I was kind of in a line of this pastor going and grabbing people and them falling over, and I shut my eyes thinking, okay, this is it. I'm going to get this big experience from God. He put his hand on my head, and I opened my eyes, and out of let's say 12 people, I was the only one still standing when everyone was on the ground, and I was like, I'm fucking done with this. I'm out of here. And then I walked right out of the church, and I think that might have been the last time I ever went.
You know what was holding you up?
Satan.
That was Satan. Yeah.
Strangeland 7785. Thank you for the $1.99. Oh shit, I didn't have it ready. Sorry. All right, let's get this one. Damn it. All right. Thank you for the $1.99. You guys rule. I love the topic. Now, here's the weird thing about the topic is that I think that we all kind of have our own interpretation of what it was. And I think I didn't mention this, is that I kind of wanted to capitalize on Stranger Things because of the finale that just came out that focuses a lot on, or I shouldn't say focuses, it's really all meant to be within the real world of the Satanic Panic that we experienced in the 80s, and there's a lot of the Satanic Panic stuff in that show. I don't expect everyone to be a fan of it. I was until this final season. It's garbage. But I did like the attempt. I appreciated the efforts made to put it in the world of the Satanic Panic, and I just kind of wanted to capitalize on that. But yes, the Satanic Panic was a time where there was a sweeping mania over North America, that there was a fear that satanic cults were
I'm sweeping my fear all over.
That satanic cults were undermining the public, our institutions, and that they were stealing babies and murdering them all in the name of Satan. It was a very weird time where people just started buying into a lot of nonsense that Satanists were all around us. They could be anywhere. They could be doing anything. And essentially undermining Christianity is really what it came down to. And a lot of very powerful networks bought into this too and started putting on specials, trying to appeal to the audience, appeal to the North American world to be mindful and to be vigilant of Satanists. But believe it or not, it all can be traced back to one specific thing that happened. In 1980, yes.
I was going to say Charles Manson. I think, that's when people became really afraid of that type of shit, It seems to me cultish type, the swastika, the evil, he gave such a good face to evil.
I really need a good sound effect that's like a ding, ding, ding. I really do. You're very good at this, Mr. Dixon.
Oh.
You are correct. It started with Charles Manson. Now, specifically, let's talk a little bit about what it was, and it was the concept of cults. Cults became an issue while people knew what they were and they kind of tolerated them. This is the first time that we actually see, at least publicly, a cult that caused serious fear in North American society because of the fact that there were the murders. And then not too long, I'm going to say about 14 years after that, then what happens in 1978, we have Jonestown. If you know, another cult in which there was a mass suicide. We don't have to get too deep into that. That deserves an episode, though. We should talk about that one.
Oh, my God, yes.
In which over 900 people all willingly committed suicide. Well, at least we know a lot of them did. Willingly committed suicide, all in the name of a cult leader. So this is kind of the permeating environment that we have at this time, when in 1980, a book gets published called Michelle Remembers. Now, do you know anything about this book, Mr. Dixon?
Nope, never heard of it.
Okay. You are in for a treat.
I'm sorry, one quick second, Luigi, before we miss. We do have $5 from RTC from Rumpled Trenchcoat.
Oh, shit, I missed that.
The horror of Tom Hanks movies and Dungeons and Dragons, the horror.
Well, way to spoil it. Way to spoil it, Rumpled Trenchcoat. No. We're actually going to get to that in part 2, which is going to be next week, which is going to be focused on Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to see how Tom Hanks contributed to a nationwide paranoia.
And as somebody who's been playing Dungeons and Dragons for over 40 years, I will have a lot to say next week.
Yes, and we're actually going to have a guest on who is also a Dungeons and Dragons player, so that you two can nerd out, because I know jack shit about Dungeons and Dragons. I was trying to get pussy when I was in high school.
I got 2 hands. I could roll dice with one and did it with the other.
So let me tell you a little bit about Michelle Remembers. In 1980, a book got published. Shit, I had some notes written down. A book was published by a Canadian psychiatrist. That's right, folks. The entire Satanic Panic as we know it originated out of Canada.
Thanks, Cardiff.
And we're gonna watch some videos about it, in which the book has been totally discredited since. It claims that a woman who was visiting a psychiatrist suddenly had repressed memories of being raised in a satanic cult in which she had been tortured and had horrible things done to her, all in the name of Satan. The book got published and was an immediate hit and contributed to every subsequent Satanic Panic trope, like Dungeons and Dragons, heavy metal music, backmasking, and we're going to see it. It's a lot to discuss in one episode, everything, so we're going to take it incident by incident, or at least major incident, and this is going to be part 1.
Was there a made-for-TV movie about that? That sounds so familiar. Like an ABC movie or some shit?
I wouldn't be surprised, but chronologically, we're just going to be focused right now in kind of the the early 80s. You know, I'll look that up. I am kind of curious if there was, but let's get started. Now, I do kind of want to warn the audience that similar to the McDonald's episode, I've had to do a lot of trying to distort the images we're going to watch because they got copyright notices because they all come from a fantastic documentary that I recommend everyone watch called Satan Wants You. It's on Tubi. It's a great documentary, but it all focuses on this book and the Satanic Panic. So without any further delay, let's get to it. And I made this pretty cool little intro to buy me some time. Here we go. All right.
Back in the 80s and early 90s, a wave of troubling accusations swept across North America.
New and intense scrutiny on the activities of satanic cults.
Stories of devil worship and satanic cults corrupting young minds.
Unbelievable crime at the hands of satanic cults.
There were terrifying tales of secret satanic cults bent on tormenting and corrupting the young. Heavy metal music had hidden satanic messages.
Possibly satanic messages on some rock music recordings.
And games like Dungeons and Dragons were luring kids to devil worship. And it got even stranger.
Allegations of physical and sexual abuse of children at a babysitting service. The dark.
So, interesting thing though is that without putting too much context on this for where we're going to go with it later, I would kind of just tell everyone to kind of think about this as while it's absurd and terrible and ridiculous and a ridiculous time to be living, that maybe this isn't so crazy given our national environment in the past couple of years. It's kind of crazy as I was doing research on all this while thinking that it's absurd and silly and I couldn't believe this happened. At some point you realize, oh shit, this has actually happened recently. Pizzagate, you know, a lot of the crazy shit that social media has spawned. And so I don't know. It was really kind of funny doing this while the whole point was kind of to make fun of it. I was like, ugh, it's not that crazy anymore.
The IKEA children trafficking. That was one of the funniest things from last year. Remember that?
No, I don't even know that one. What's that?
Oh, so apparently IKEA was with the government in trafficking children. And that's the reason why like certain dressers would be like, normal $100, $150. But for some reason, a certain model number would be like $10,000 because people would get like children in the dressers. Look it up. It's a whole conspiracy theory. It's amazing. It's hilarious.
I've never heard that. That's funny.
Last year, late 2024. Yeah, bro.
Wow. That is crazy. Here we go.
World of ritualistic child abuse. There's a widely held opinion that what happened at the daycare was the devil's handiwork.
Underground networks of Satanists were infiltrating daycares and preschools to physically and sexually abuse children in occult rituals. Much of what fueled the panic was not real. These claims led to a wave of high-profile criminal trials in the US, Canada, and beyond.
And that's one part I kind of didn't mention when I talked about what the Satanic Panic was that ultimately the belief led to a lot of court cases where people's lives were ruined. People got prosecuted for simply the belief that they were associated with Satanism. People went to prison and had to later be exonerated because of this incredibly brainwashing panic that went across the United States. So are you familiar with some of those cases at all, Pat? Did you, like when you associate Satanic Panic, do you know about any of those court cases?
I never really associated it with that, but I mean, there were actual crimes alleged, right? I mean, it wasn't like going to prison for worshiping Satan.
Correct.
We do have freedom
No,
of religion here and everything.
yes.
But was it the Greenbergs or something like that? The daycare in Long Island or something?
It was, that does sound familiar, but there was also one in California, a daycare that supposedly, we're going to get into that into another episode, but these psychiatrists interviewed these children, and you realize that what they're doing is giving them leading questions. And when they would say, no, I wasn't abused, that the psychiatrist wouldn't allow them to...
no cookie.
Right, like they wouldn't allow that to be the answer. Like they wouldn't just say, okay. They said, no, tell us if you've been hurt. Tell us if someone, touched you. And then the kids were like, yeah, fine. And it led to substantiating these crazy accusations of, these daycare workers sexually abusing kids. And one guy went to jail for, I think, 5 years.
It's really funny because that's the exact mentality that will lead to kids being molested to begin with. That sort of coercive energy, like,
oh my God, yes, absolutely. It took me a second. I'm sorry.
It's like, show me on my dick and balls where the bad man touched you.
Okay, I was worried we weren't going to be able to joke through this. Thank you. Perfect.
Greenberg. I'm like, oh, Greenberg, you say?
And then also, if you know about the West Memphis 3, that's another one where 3 kids. There's this horrific murder, and these 3 kids get prosecuted because they're associated with listening to heavy metal music, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane that we ever lived in a world like this. But
before you hit play, Luigi, I'm sorry.
Yo.
One thing. Chat corrected me. I was wrong. It wasn't IKEA. It was Wayfair, first of all. And we have 2 chats from Robert Carl Hamish McJenkins. One for $2 and another one for $2.
Oh,
if you want, I can read them.
Here we go. 25 minutes late. Robert Carl Hamish McJenkins. 25 minutes late and new temp handle. Happy Friday, guys. Thank you very much for the $2. Appreciate
And he has another one right after. Couple chats after.
Thank you for the $2. Hail Santa. Thank you very much.
By the way, how haven't we done a version of doopa-doopa-doo for when she comes in chat?
That's pretty good. Haven't thought of that. Yeah, we should do that.
And we have RTC with $5. Thank you. Just popped up right now.
Yeah, there's always this weird delay. There you go. Got it. Thank you, Rebel Trenchcoat, for the $5.
Thank you, RTC.
I do remember that was when experts said children don't lie about that, then later realizing that, of course, they do. That is what we are going to be discussing tonight. And that is exactly what Michelle Remembers persuaded people to do. And we're going to see a horrifically absurd abuse of, it's weird to say abuse of power. It's not an abuse of power. It's an abuse of, knowledge, I guess, of thinking that someone is an authority.
And it's kind of an intrusion of the culture onto the courts, which is always a bad idea.
But what's crazy is, I guess I don't want to spoil it, but basically when this book gets written, because it was such a new concept, these people are immediately given credibility. And that's what it is, an abuse of credibility. That's what it is. And they are sought out to testify in courts. And that is what is ridiculous. And because people start to trust them. But then authority figures start to kind of get a little suspicious of their credibility and their knowledge and the things that they're saying. Big Daddy Dodo, thank you for the $4.99.
BDD,
what up, fellas? Hit me with the Mike Walker, please. Yes, sir. You got it. There you go. The Mike Walker fart. The infamous Mike Walker fart.
Got one more chat right under.
Cardiff Electric illegitimate son. Thank you for the $1.99. Yes,
there you go.
All right.
Nice.
Perfect. Gay. Ah, shit. You got me. You're blocked.
Turn him into block.
Yeah, turn him into block.
By the way, I don't know. That's not Carl, is it? Is that Carl?
That has to be because with the gay. That's what I'm guessing.
I've noticed other people started doing it. Thank you, Carl. Or thank you, Carter, for illegitimate son. By the way, Pat, I don't know if you noticed, we've been doing snipes of Karmic, and we've realized he does not like it. We'll talk backstage about that, but it's pretty fucking funny to us.
I love the animations you're doing. They're really great. I've been talking about them every night.
We got to do one today for 4 minutes.
It was a different South Park one.
As soon as lately, like the 3 times in a row when we go live, he suddenly doesn't like it and gets sick or gives a reason.
Yeah.
Yes, it is I, Carl. You're blocked.
To quote Chris Rock, grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he sees in sniping.
All right, so back to this. So
The cases often followed a similar pattern. An initial report of physical or sexual abuse at a daycare would snowball, taking on a life of its own. Overzealous interveners, everyone from parents to police to counselors, would question children, some as young as 2 years old, in ways now known to produce false allegations. Children began to talk about animal sacrifices, blood rituals, secret tunnels, even cannibalism. Police would lay charges, prosecutors would take them to court, and the media would report uncritically on what seemed to be a growing threat.
that's the craziest part. And that's why I thought there was a lot of overlap here with the McDonald's case, where it's about media reporting without any questioning, or just any follow-up, just saying, this is what we heard, and now we're spreading this irresponsibly. Again, just a crazy world to live in that wasn't that long ago.
Authorities search frantically for evidence of an apparent ritual abuse epidemic across North America.
Some cases would fall apart at trial or during appeal. Others resulted in wrongful convictions. Many of the accused spent years in prison, while others faced financial ruin and damaged reputations. As it turns out, the Satanic Panic may have its origins in Canada. When asked about the spark that set off the hellfire, many experts point to this book, Michelle Remembers, published in 1980, written by Canadian psychiatrist Lawrence Pasder and his former patient, Michelle Smith. The book provided a template for the allegations of satanic ritual abuse that followed. Pasder claimed he helped Smith recover repressed memories from her early childhood of a terrifying initiation into a secret cabal of Satanists operating near Victoria, British Columbia.
I have to say that while doing my research for this episode, I never associated Satanism with Canada. I don't know why. I realize everyone's susceptible to Satanism, but a Satanist Canadian just sounds like kind of a dichotomy, doesn't it? Doesn't it just sound a little weird?
Hey, let's worship the devil, eh?
Hey. I can see like the Satanist, like those typical horror movies where they show them, all around, wearing dark clothes and sitting around, candlelit rooms, but with some Labatt's.
I just thought like their only version would be like when the New Jersey Devils came to play a team over there.
A maple leaf with a pentagram somehow.
Yeah. That's good. I like shit. We need to make that happen. I like that.
Hail syrup.
That's, not to make it, bring it back, but because joking about Canada, fuck them. That's always fun. But the confluence of events, right, is part of it too. I mean, like a lot of things I think happened to produce this. I mean, like we can put it on a book. Sure, a lot of people must have read it and it was very influential. But you remember in 1979 there was that kid Aiton Potts or something like that. He disappeared in New York City and he became.
Wait! I'm gonna stop you.
Oh, okay.
That one might get a little bit into spoiler territory.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's when people start to be afraid for kids, though, yeah.
But I do know what you're talking about, and that story is actually going to be a huge element to next week's episode.
Oh, my bad.
And no, not at all.
Come back next week, man. Have a good one.
So let's give the audience a reason to come back. And also, what you're talking about is directly connected to the Tom Hanks reference earlier. directly related. So yes, we will talk about that. But here we go. And as what's funny, you're absolutely right when you talk about like the events. There are things that are a little maybe out of chronological order, but then suddenly in retrospect, this book starts making them make more sense with the satanic lens. And yes, you are 100% right, sir. God, you're a great guest.
They would put me in cages. They would sacrifice animals. They would have a lot of candles and chanting and bizarre things I had never seen.
Did people think this was a fantasy, that you'd made this all up? It was such hocus pocus that it couldn't possibly have happened?
Not.
Well, I was one of the first to stand up and start to recount these kinds of things and to bring it publicly.
There was no evidence or witnesses to Smith's account.
So I want to just make sure we also focus what she just said. She was put in a cage.
No. Hold on 1 second, Luigi. Sorry to interrupt, but she said
please.
I was put in cages.
Yes, you are correct. I was put in cages. I mean, look,
that's a lie. That's just a lie. Nobody would say that. I was put in cages. You know, you'd say.
Well, she's kind of a big girl.
They had to weld two dog carriage together. Point Luigi.
Yet Pastor presented the book as a true story.
The hard evidence is difficult to find because if a child is sacrificed, that child's body isn't going to be left. If it's an Orthodox satanic cult, they're going to burn the body and they're going to eat it during ceremony, so they'll leave no evidence around.
This guy, the psychiatrist, does an interview in which he's asked about the validity of Michelle's experience, and his response is that if it's a real Satanist group, they're going to eat the baby.
Yeah. I mean, if it's an Orthodox one, yes.
An Orthodox, yes. So, yeah, who can argue with that?
Luigi, I don't know if you heard, Hammer's got it.
Yes.
Yes,
thank you very much, Mr. Hamhead. Appreciate you.
And we also have Jack Sampson Forever with the level 1 for 5 months.
Oh, where's that one?
Ooh, Donna's here. Hey, boo. And she's here. A member for 8 months, level 1. Oh my God, if I couldn't love you anymore, Donna.
Thank you so much, Jack Sampson.
You know, when I was growing up, like a lot of people had like outdoor cats because you weren't allowed to have like pets like in the buildings, in the projects. People would like own cats and just let them like run the streets mostly. And when the cats would disappear, it was always the Satanists, not the fucking 13-inch sewer rats that are running around attacking and eating everything. But if an animal went missing, it was like, oh, that's it, Satanists.
And there was a big rumor where I was growing up was that around Halloween, you had to keep your cats indoors.
Yep.
Because Satanists were looking to sacrifice cats.
Especially black
Halloween.
cats.
Yeah,
yes,
not a bunch of mass teenagers out looking for trouble. It was
right.
Exactly.
Michelle Remembers was also one of the first books to suggest that underground satanic networks were not only real,
what's with that
but
cover?
were infiltrating communities.
Yeah.
What was that?
What's that cover? She's like the cover. She's like facing some guy in a suit. I mean, like, get out of the way, dude. We're taking the picture.
It looks like the guy is like shushing her, and she's like looking past, like, you see what he's doing to me? Like that's what it looks like.
That's funny. I didn't see that.
It was just
when she's waiting in line for McDonald's, she's like, "Sir, turn around to pay."
Oh, you mean the book cover? Oh, the book cover. Okay, yeah. That is weird. And oh wow, that's really funny. You guys picked up on that because that's crazy. But when you hear this story, it actually kind of puts that in perspective. That's funny. I didn't even notice that. All right.
In an organized effort, anyone could be a Satanist. Your next door neighbor, your dentist, or your daycare provider. It was an idea that stuck
satanic
with many readers.
All
The book is called
fucking satanic, you know?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
All dentists are kind of satanic. Your dentist could be the satanic Dayton is whatever.
I'm not joking. I you know what? everything you're saying tonight, Pat, makes us love you more and more. I have actually wanted to do an episode on how big of crooks dentists are. I fucking hate dentists. I think dentists are the biggest crooks of the medical industry. Even after watching this, and it talks about psychiatry being being a bunch of crooks, I think dentists are still worse.
High suicide rate, good.
Yes. I have 3 different stories of trying to be defrauded by dentists. Jesus. Personally. Anyway.
You shall remember us.
The book became an overnight sensation, and Pazder and Smith received a lucrative publishing deal, about $1.2 million in today's dollars. It also established Pazder as a sought-after expert on the burgeoning phenomenon of ritual abuse, a term he coined himself.
I want to make that clear. So when I was talking about the credibility that this book lent them and how they were sought after as experts by law enforcement, it is all based on a term he created, which was satanic ritual abuse, which was a term that did not exist before he created it for this book. Hey, Robert Carl Hamish McJenkins, thank you for the $10.
RCMHJ.
Luigi Gummi, please check out Control Alt History Gemstone Files. It is a lot and totally you guys. JFK Howard Hughes, which goes interesting. We did do a JFK episode, which I really thought was going to get a little bit more coverage. People were not into it. But if you don't know, the very first public JFK conspiracy theory was that a rogue group of homosexual CIA agents killed him as a thrill kill because homosexuals were mentally unstable homicidal maniacs. And that was actually in a book written by the prosecutor who prosecuted the one and only person who ever went to trial for the JFK murders. That is an insane story. And the basis of the movie JFK, they just cut out the crazy parts. Do you know that story at all, Pat?
No, I sure don't, man. I never heard that conspiracy theory before. I thought I'd heard a good number of them, but not that. The first generally accepted conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, I guess, mainstream conspiracy theory was by a guy named Jim. God, why am I blanking? But it was basically the guy who wrote the book, the prosecutor who wrote the book, upon which Oliver Stone turned into a screenplay for JFK. Why am I blanking on his name? The character played by Kevin. I'm looking at Bacon.
No, the character played by Kevin Costner, the prosecutor, literally wrote a book. Jim Garrison, and literally wrote a book talking about how homosexuals were responsible for the murder of JFK. Oliver Stone liked the book, but he was like, let's cut the gay stuff out. Well, let's leave some of the gay stuff in, but not all of it.
I think the best JFK theory I heard was something I just read it on Twitter, and it was his head just did that.
We need to revisit that, Pat. Maybe you'd be good to have you on to talk about that, the original theory, because we did an episode on it, but I think people thought we were lying. I think people just didn't believe it, and literally, it's written in a book. This guy fucking said the stuff, and then actually went on the air in very hard to find NBC archive footage and said the same thing.
Yeah, Jim
over and over.
He's a very well-known JFK-ologist or whatever. I mean, I've heard of him.
I mean, it's insane. And yeah, it was the character played by Kevin Costner. He was a real lunatic and eventually had his law license threatened. He was disbarred for a little while, I believe. Anyway.
We could revisit it, and then that'll give me a place to put footage of Pat, you'll get a kick out of this. There's I know you're not into a lot of this geek shit, but there's a video game that came out and it was taken right off the market, but I have it. It's called JFK Reloaded, where you have to reenact the shooting, and it takes different camera angles and grades your the telemetry, the angle, everything of your shot, and it shows video replays of it. So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right.
There was even talk of a movie deal, with Dustin Hoffman playing Pazder.
Joining me now from Victoria is Michelle Smith, a one-time victim of abuse by a satanic cult, and Dr. Lawrence Pazder, the psychiatrist who helped her come to terms with that nightmare. They are co-authors of the book Michelle Remembers.
All right, now we're going to hear a little bit more of Michelle's story right here very quickly, and I really want you guys to listen to what this reporter says to her to get her to discuss her quote-unquote story.
The book is called Michelle Remembers. The authors are Michelle Smith and Lawrence Pazder, MD, who, acting as a psychiatrist, distracted from her bizarre childhood memories of Satan, which have shocked many people.
Michelle Smith created a sensation with her story of abuse at the hands of a satanic cult. This was the first publicized account of such rituals.
Now, you mentioned evidence which proved some of the early things you feel that happened to her as a small child in Victoria, BC.
I have to say that the evidence is clear that this came from an experience Michelle had.
Needless to say, the idea of brainwashing, cults, and trauma were all still pretty new and terrifying. So when the book Michelle Remembers was released, people clung to it, seeing it as an answer to better understand child abuse. Published in 1980 and written by Smith's psychiatrist, Lawrence Pazder, it is purported the true story of Smith's childhood as a prisoner of a satanic cult in Victoria in the mid-1950s. The entire book comes from 600 hours of Smith's testimony in Pazder's office, delivered in the voice of a child while she was in a trance-like state. In halting half-sentences, Smith told Pazder of being driven into a satanic cult by her mother at 5 years old. "You're not mine anymore, Michelle. You belong to the devil," her mother reportedly says.
So part of her story starts off with, I'm 5 years old. I never thought about this until I'm now in my mid-30s. But I suddenly remembered, yeah, my mom gives me to this cult and says, you're not mine anymore. You belong to the devil. This is how her story begins. Okay? We all on board. A story that many of us can possibly share.
Yeah, it's very relatable.
Yes, very relatable.
Of imprisonment, she is forced to drink urine, eat cannibalized flesh, bathe in the blood.
Drink urine, eat cannibalized flesh. Now, as a skeptic, my question is just always, why? Why? Why would someone want to do this? What does that have to do with anything? And if this is in fact a cult, why would they make the kid do this? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. I'm not in a cult. Who knows? Maybe they make up their own rules, but it does sound a little weird.
Also, which one's supposed to mask the taste of the other?
Yes.
Yeah, what type of urine really pairs well with
yeah, exactly.
Did you have to drink it like from a kitty cup since you're 5 years old? Do you have
it was a juice box of
Do you have to drink it from the source? What I want to know. I want details.
What a gentle way of saying that too. Cannibalized flesh.
Yeah,
I mean, people. Right?
Yeah.
Human. Yeah, that's true. I didn't really even think about that. Wait, was it cannibalized already?
Yeah, okay. Doesn't cannibalized mean that it was eaten already?
Yeah.
Isn't that the definition of cannibalized?
That's true.
Eaten? Does they baby bird her? This is like...
I mean, none of it. It's funny because just the words already don't make sense, right? This is crazy.
Babies participate in ritual murders and endure a cage filled with snakes and spiders.
Now, what do the snakes and spiders have to do with anything? But this is her story. And if that's not weird enough...
In the climax, Smith encounters Satan himself in a feast of the beast organized by her oppressor.
She meets Satan. She meets him. Hey, what's up?
Feast of the Beast is a fire album name for some sort of 80s metal band.
She claims to have met Satan,
but is ultimately saved by the direct intervention of the Virgin Mary.
Wait a minute. Not only does she meet Satan, she also meets the Virgin Mary, who whisks her away and saves her. And none of this sounded crazy. None of it. People actually gave this person credibility to testify in a court of law.
You know, the devil went up to Canada with Charlie Daniels' lesser known single.
He was looking for some flannel to steal.
It's weird. It's like the psychiatrist has everything to do with it, doesn't he? Because it's repressed childhood memories, and if your psychiatrist is telling you this, then you're like, all right.
Oh, stay tuned, Mr. Dixon. This could have easily been the grift of the psychiatrist, because you're absolutely right. It turns out the psychiatrist was basically running a scam. But wait, there's more.
Even though Michelle Remembers has since been discredited, it was the earliest and most influential narrative of satanic ritual abuse. Pazder and Smith traveled across North America to promote their work, appearing on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Oprah Winfrey
Bill Donahue
endorsed this, and who else?
Donahue, Geraldo, and 2020.
They did a tour on every major network, high-rated, like the most, whatever you want to call it, highest-rated talk shows, and were given credibility across the board. Oh, and it gets so much worse.
Sally Jesse Raphael knew it was bullshit.
Nope. Sally Jesse makes an appearance.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. We're going to see some Sally Jesse in this video package.
Yeah, Povich, you are not the father.
This is the one time Maury Povich escapes clean with his credibility.
Yeah, he could have been there with his lie detector test. The lie detector test determined you were not at a ritual.
It is. I mean, this is so sickening. It is fucking disgusting. As I was reading this, I was like, Jesus.
There was a sharp uptick in concern about child welfare, and this book proved parents' fears correct.
They would put me in cages. They would sacrifice animals. They would have a lot of candles and chanting and bizarre things I had never seen.
Eating feces and orgies and dismembering.
Wait a minute. Now the story's getting a little crazier. Eating feces, orgies. Talk about a good time. Robert Carl Hamish McJink. I'm never going to be able to get that name right. Thank you very much for the $5. You guys can easily do a show with just the creeps overhead. Oh, believe me. Yes, we can. Yeah, there's that one guy. I forget that one guy's name who wrote that book and then said, I made the whole book up. And then they still endorsed it anyway. A million little pieces.
Yeah.
Read that fucking thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, literally the guy's like, okay, all right. I said it was a true story. I made it all up. Sorry. and then after he did that, they made a TV show. Do y'all remember that? After the confession, they made a TV show about it. Insane. Just, God, where is dignity and like credibility these days? Sorry.
Days.
Yeah, at RP3703. Thank you for the $1.99. Just found you guys. Great to see Pat Dixon. Thank you very much. Welcome. Please take a look around our library. We got a lot of stuff. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the $1.99.
Also, that was really funny what Hammers put in chat. This all sounds like a G.G. Allen concert.
That's funny. He is not wrong. Not wrong. But they were doing this to a 5-year-old child. Come on now. And she survived. She looks like she really enjoyed that feces.
Yeah, you think sacrificing animals was her fault? She was just so hungry she just ate the chickens alive. Just give it to me.
She switched to chocolate pudding at some point.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Reliving trauma is what a psychiatrist would call it. Cardiff Electric Illegitimate Son. Thank you for the $1.99. 2 girls and a glass. Yes. 1 girl, 2 glasses, actually.
Wasn't it a cup? Not to be,
Wait, what is it? 2 cages, 1 girl?
Yeah. 1 girl, 2 cages.
So these were things that you experienced.
That's right.
The book begins when Michelle is in the hospital following a miscarriage, and Dr. Pazder comes because he, in the past, has worked as her therapist, and she tells him about a dream where there's an itchy spot on her hand. She scratches it, and then countless tiny spiders come surging forth.
Now, this is very, very important to the story, and maybe a tiny little bit of truth intermingled with a bunch of lies. That the book Michelle remembers starts off with Michelle and her name was Michelle Smith, and the psychiatrist Lawrence Pazder actually had a professional relationship where he was her psychiatrist and she went to therapy. Excuse me, hold on. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. And after their sessions, some time had passed and she had a miscarriage. And after the miscarriage, she decided to go back to therapy, discuss it with him. And then he starts to encourage her to come more often to therapy. That is going to play a little bit of a role as we look back on the events that unfold after that.
I can just imagine that psychiatrist using the miscarriage as some sort of thing with it, being a real piece of shit, like saying that was like a sacrifice or something. I could just picture it.
Gummy?
Yeah.
You know you have a habit. You know you have a habit here. Pat, never take Gummy to see a movie. Ever. Ever. Gummy has a just uncanny ability to predict the endings.
It's my gift and my curse.
Yes.
We got a chat from Jack Sampson. $2.
Yeah, here we go. At Jack Sampson forever. Thank you very much for the $2. She met the devil and Mary. Bitch sounds important. And not only did she meet the devil apparently didn't have much interest when he met her. He
doesn't like the fat ones. That would be great.
But the Virgin Mary apparently, it's hard to dig that deep into it, but apparently her story was that the Virgin Mary grabbed her hand, took her out of the building or something. I don't know. It's fucking nonsense.
You heard it here. Satan is not a chubby chaser.
You'd think he would be. But keep that in mind, Gummy. Yes. Maybe that plays a part. You never know.
And she's extremely upset by this dream. And so he decides based on this that it's time for them to return to therapy.
Side A.
We have audio of their therapy sessions. And it starts in 1976. And yes, kind of like what you said, Gummy, she tells this story and apparently wasn't seeking out long-term therapy, but wanted to talk about it. Right. But when she gets to the psychiatrist, Lawrence says, you know what? I think you should stick around. Let's do more of this.
Oh, one more chat from Vagina Wrinkle for $10. Thank you.
Vagina Wrinkle. Thank you for the $10. Great topic tonight and the friendliest chat and mod on YouTube. Thank you. I take pride in that. Thank you very much. I love to hear you say that. We love our chatters, and yes.
Oh, she just said mod singular. That's it, DJ Electrify. You and me fist fight to see which one.
We love our chatters. Our chatters are part of the show.
You are first.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time. I included a couple of clips of their sessions because they're fucking weird and they change the mood. But we'll listen to a little bit here.
November 1976. Come as much as you can. Don't catch it if you can.
I couldn't get away. The first thing.
Yeah, I didn't really want to focus on that. It gets weird, but he's basically
horny. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I know. I want to prolong it, but yeah, he tells her just go with it, whatever it is, just go, no matter how stupid, just go with it. And then she starts crying. Amber Alert says she's pretty sure that she saw this woman on some talk show when she was 12, and you thought it was fascinating. And good evening, Tukey Shuley, Esquire, Pat and Gummy. I don't know who Tukey Shuley is.
Thing I remembered was a night.
By the way, I don't know if Pat knows that name. That was a name I had for a little while. I represented Rocco with something in the past, and it leaked out. I was helping him, and they used the name Shuley as meaning lawyer. So people just started saying Tukey Shuley.
I put it together, yeah.
Got it. Okay, all right. I wasn't sure.
When a group of people were gathered to do, I didn't know what, they were doing dances that were not like the dances I was used to. They had the walls draped in black. They had set up candles.
I swear, if I see that bitch point to that 666 one time, I'm gonna lose it, man.
That's my fault. I had to kind of reuse a little bit of the footage for just
Sorry,
some of the things I'm trying to cover up
every time. I'm like, there it is again.
Not in the ceremony, not in the ritual. She wasn't involved in that. Her position seemed to be one of giving me to this group. They were dedicated to doing a lot of seriously frightening kind of things. And they sacrificed animals. And they used fetuses of babies.
They used fetuses of babies. Like, you realize, like, every time she's telling the story, it seems to grow. The story just seems to grow a little bit more and a little bit more. And then what's also kind of funny is you see that she's not even able to really complete her sentence when she says they were doing bad things. Like right there.
It's funny because she was probably just like really exaggerating and saying they're using fetuses. They were just scrambling eggs. Technically, that is using fetuses.
Rebel Trenchcoat, thank you for the $5. Weird to hear a tape of Dr. Yes and encouraging her to lie. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. All right.
It's an improv class, basically.
It really is. I didn't mean to hit this, but it's okay. The news did the same. Yes, they did. Absolutely did.
In their ceremonies.
Sorry, I have to use these just trying to break up the content so we don't get a copyright
Essentially,
strike.
the bulk of Michelle remembers is
a
long
lot more
descriptions
666 pointing,
of
Pat.
a
Sorry.
young child being mercilessly tortured.
I'm sorry if I've bothered you lately.
It's becoming...
I'm sorry. I actually intended to stop it there, but we moved. I said there was a part in the book there where she says that they sewed horns and tails on her.
Oh, wow. She had horns sewed onto her skull.
Yes.
So,
I mean, the story gets so ridiculous. And
you could have just called her a cow. You didn't have to actually sew the tail and horns on her.
And then they put her in the 2 cages.
Yeah. They called me a pre-hamburger.
I mean, the story is so absurd. But what's crazy is, and this is always kind of an underlying aspect of the show, is when something so ridiculous actually convinces smart people. And the level of intelligence that actually decides to suspend reason and logic and disbelief in order to believe something stupid.
Wait a second. Well, who are these people you're talking about? Like, like John Q. Citizen? Or are you talking about that? Because I don't think the news people particularly would necessarily have to believe it in order to sell the sizzle of Satanism,
Great question. And yes, John Q. Citizen, but also the people who perpetuated the satanic, the Satanic Panic, which were courtrooms, lawyers who were asking Michelle and Lawrence to testify, and we're going to see that. And then a psychiatry organization has these annual continuing education conferences where they ask them to speak at these psychiatry conferences on how to speak to someone who was a victim of ritual satanic abuse. And then it gets worse. They start getting asked to give speeches at conferences for law enforcement. Police and the FBI start hiring them, paying them to give speeches on their experiences with satanic ritual abuse. And we're going to touch on all that. But that's a great question because that's something I really hadn't talked about yet. But that's actually where a big part of their story falls apart, is they get a little too big for their britches, and some FBI agents who heard their story at a conference don't believe them. But we're going to get there.
The belief is stronger than evidence every single time. It doesn't matter what. So that's I don't know why that is. It just is.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm held to a very different standard than your standard person in my work, in which if I say something happens, I have to show it. I have to provide the evidence and proof to say, I can't just say, hey, you know what I think happened, or my feelings say. I am required. And I realize not everyone is required to do that on any sort of regular basis, but it's become my standard in my personal life. I've had moments. What's that? I'm sorry?
It's an excellent standard.
I think so. I think it's only benefited me. And I've had moments though where I'm fighting with my wife and she'll say, well, I feel, and I'm like, well, I can't prove how you feel. And she'll be like, don't do that. I'm like, okay, all right.
It doesn't really work in a situation like that. But don't you think though that there is a sales aspect of it, a salesmanship aspect where you tell people what they're going to hear and and then they hear or see the whatever video that you, whatever proof that you have, and then they're more likely to go along with it. Like basically you get them to believe somewhat before they're exposed to the evidence. And I think maybe if you're trying to convict people, that's something that you might resort to,
You are very, very keen. There is actually a way that they teach you to write in law school that specifically says, don't, it's basically talking about an efficiency of words. And it basically says that if you're really trying to convince someone, the best way to convince them is to tell them where you want them to go and then back up, provide the evidence, but let them know exactly where you're going first. So it's kind of funny that you said that. But basically, if I am going to provide like a paragraph of evidence saying, Michelle was a victim of ritual abuse, instead of just simply giving several sentences of details, start the sentence by saying, Michelle was a victim of ritual abuse, and here is why. So you're right. It is kind of a manipulation tactic when it comes to trying to convince someone of something. Or persuade someone. Robert Carl, Hamish McJenkins. Franklin's scandal seems to be mixed with this stuff. I don't know that one. All right. We will look into that.
The Franklin scandal. I don't recall what it was, though, but I've heard of it.
I don't know that one. All right.
Their worlds, and yet, surprisingly, each of them is going home to a spouse each night. Michelle to her husband, Doug, and Dr. Pazder to his wife, Mary Lynn.
That's a very important part of the story. They're both married. They're both married. We want to make that very clear in this story. They are both married.
Oh, so he starts banging this chick? Wow.
My dad,
that's where
I was his princess, basically. Daddy.
It's so much worse.
His little girl. So I was always really, really tight with my dad, and we went to church.
Working her like a puppet in every definition.
How would you describe what was done mentally and physically?
It was a very carefully organized assault on Michelle on a physical, emotional, intellectual, and finally on a spiritual.
Also, from a analytical standpoint, notice the dynamic here. The interviewer asked Michelle what happened, but who gives the answer? The psychiatrist.
Oh, that's like with the
very organized.
What the fuck are their names? The MMA guys.
Fabia, yeah.
Where he would push what's name out of the way and answer for him.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't make that connection, but god damn it, you are absolute. That is 100% what this is.
Not only MMA, but it's MLC.
we did it. We did an episode, Pat, where there was this cult leader who actually started trying to train a professional MMA fighter, despite the fact this guy had no professional experience training athletes. And the guy literally just starts taking over his life in every way. And during an interview, they ask him a question, and you see the trainer literally put his hand over the athlete's hand and says, I'm going to answer, and just starts talking for him. And it becomes very, very gay. It's a pretty, that's one of the most fast. That was one I found I had so much fun researching.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's very sophisticated.
Who are these people?
Well, they're a secret organization, a secret society.
You see,
a secret society does not reveal the identity of the people or the ways of their practices. I was familiar with this type of society firsthand in Africa, practicing general medicine there.
Larry was a character, and he told these stories of Africa.
All right, so let's establish a couple things about Lawrence Pazder, the psychiatrist. First off, devout Catholic. Also, got his medical degree. God, why am I blanking? What do you actually call a medical degree? Well, whatever. He went to medical school and was a doctor. He was a
doctorate.
Is it? It's not doctor, but doctorate's for anyway. Whatever the fuck. And it's different in Canada. That's
Chat, help us.
Yeah. he got his Canadian medical degree.
Bibles on Temu.
He got his, yes, they call it a maple. They got his maple degree in Canada and decided to practice medicine in Nigeria in the 60s for 2 years, from 1964 to 1966. And then decided after that to go back and actually get his psychiatry degree. I just know they do things differently in Canada. That's why I'm blanking on it.
They do things differently in Nigeria too. You know, I mean, their doctors come here and they're cab drivers.
That's it. That's it. And and they're I am kind of curious. It is kind of funny for me thinking of like Lawrence Pastor as a psychiatrist interviewing someone like with paint and feathers off of their head next to a boiling cauldron of water.
Click, click, pop, pop.
I was gonna say 1 click for yes, 2 clicks for no.
And so while in Nigeria, apparently gets his first exposure to crazy religious practices.
Well, I had worked in Africa and done a lot of work in transcultural psychiatry, so I was familiar with cults. And the degree of sophistication and organization that these people were using on Michelle told me that they were a serious cult indeed.
But they believe in the other god, the devil, right?
Genie 13, he got his medical degree at Tim Hortons.
They worship the devil to bring down anything good that they know about.
How do they do this, Michelle? What rituals? Does the devil appear? Is that the idea?
Well, that is one of their intensive courses, to summon a presence.
Father Guy.
All right, so that is just for context. So now fast forward to 1976, where Lawrence is doing his therapy sessions with Michelle. He starts to get support from the church. Now, why did the church even know about this? Because he fucking told them. He starts asking them for their guidance and their help, almost like he was prepared to talk about satanic abuse, satanic cults, satanic possession. But he starts to get essentially proponents, people from the church who are giving him advice. They're telling him what to do, what to ask, and also what's the word I'm looking for? Promote him amongst the church.
I was the priest at the Catholic church that Larry and Michelle went to. And so he helped Michelle to understand what she's seeing and what's happening in that reliving process.
So I don't think HIPAA really was a big thing back then, especially not in Canada. But he's basically going to people at his church and saying, I got this lady who's telling me a bunch of stuff about Satanism and stuff that happened. What do you think about it? And the church, some people in the church, this guy particularly, his name was Father Guy. I forget his last name. Yeah, I know, just a funny name. Starts giving him advice. And he's like, oh, well, this is what this means. And this is what Satan does. And this is blah, 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 blah. Dang Lizard, thank you for the €5. I'm part of a secret society that is so secret, I don't even know if it exists. But interdimensional beings controlled by Satan told me that I'm in it.
It checks out.
I agree. Checks out.
I mean, this is, obviously me just trying to pin everything together. But do you think there might have been some like influence or maybe overlap from like?
Stop it.
Okay.
In all directions.
Yeah.
Origins, spoilers for the end.
Yeah.
Is it
telling you, don't take Gummi to a movie.
I know all.
Movies. I mean, were you about to bring up a movie?
I was about to bring up people who were the characters are in modern horror movies.
Well, like The Exorcist was a huge influence on popular culture,
Right.
And I think that like everything that influences popular culture, it was both the reflection of it and it grew, the idea of demon possession and stuff like that.
And how it is to be perceived. And I think, honestly, this is going to sound so stupid, but think about it. I sincerely believe this, that the movie Ghostbusters contributed to what people believe to be science of ghost hunting. Like when they say that something's cold or they have a electrometer on those stupid ghost hunting shows, none of that existed before Ghostbusters. And it's still not a science, but people believe it's to be real. I sincerely believe that, as absurd and stupid as that is. But to answer your question, Gummi, Yes, there is absolutely influence coming from the church on this, and we're going to see it. But,
I was going somewhere else past the church.
Oh, okay. Well, then ask your question. I'm sorry.
I was actually gonna say any kind of overlap, or whatever, with the Warrens, or influence.
Oh.
But I said that might be me getting a little too conspiratorial. Is that a real word?
No, but similar to the Warrens,
right?
Very similar to the Warrens. They are consulting with the church, and the church is encouraging this.
Right. That's why I was thinking if there was like one influenced the other.
Yes, very similar, but no, not the one. But.
Gotcha.
Ma mère.
Virgin Mary.
That's right.
Mother Mary. They referred to her as ma mère. Visited Michelle and talked to her in French.
and spoke French.
Father Guy felt concerned about it enough that he took Larry and Michelle over to his bishop, which was Bishop Remy DeRue at the time.
Okay, so this is what I was just saying. They have this they have this priest who they've been talking to. And the priest is like, man, that's a crazy story. Let's get you in front of some other leaders of the church, and let's see what they have to say.
And Bishop Remy DeRue decided that her memories had enough import that they needed to go to Rome and tell the Pope this.
You fucking hear that? They tell their story, and it starts going up the flagpole, and this guy says, you know who needs to hear this story? El Padre, the Pope, in his Pope little hat in Vatican City.
The one thing that keeps throwing me off is ma mère, as they were saying, because like if you add a D male, that's shit in French.
I mean,
that's
shit.
why
I know.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they came up with that. I don't care. It's French. It's stupid. It's Canadian.
we got another chat, bro, from Robert Carl Hermishman Jenkins.
Robert Carl Hermishman Jenkins. Thank you so much for the $10. Luigi, unfortunately, not true. The cult spots and things like that in Ghostbusters are because Dan Aykroyd was wildly. That's true. That's true. Absolutely true. And if you ever hear him talk, he talks about like having erotic episodes with ghosts when it's Dan Aykroyd's a weird dude. But yes, I believe that Dan Aykroyd, being the writer of Ghostbusters, is directly responsible for the ghost hunting shows, the stupid ghost hunting shows that we got.
You're both right. Like Dan Aykroyd made the movie, which Luigi's saying is a movie that brought it into the public. So you're both right. It's just like in an order.
And it's funny. I wanted to introduce Ghostbusters. I think I might have told this story on the air, that I wanted to introduce my niece to Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. But I've seen it so many times, I almost forgot there's a scene where a ghost gives Dan Aykroyd a blowjob in Ghostbusters. And I was just like, oh, God. This movie's ridiculous.
Did your niece turn to you and go, boo?
I was like, I didn't show it to her, but I was just like, I don't know. And those were PG movies back then. And you could also show tits. You can show tits in PG movies back then. That was crazy. It's a wonderful time to be alive.
They did.
So, 1977, they go visit the Pope to tell this story.
Man, that's a year.
Yes, a year. A year has gone by. This guy was fucking impatient. Here we go.
Larry and Michelle. Be patient also.
As soon as I said it, I was like, should I?
Like,
nope, someone else is going to do it.
Fucking impatient.
Yeah.
And Bishop Remy DeRue went there, and they did get to see the Pope. And they did tell him.
He said, "You're fucking stupid."
Michelle's memories.
What's this, my fucking kids?
That was my
they gave the idea to him.
Yeah. Oh, cage, you say? I don't know. I don't know what the Pope sounds like.
He was Polish.
So he was stupid too.
1980, as soon as the book came out.
Okay, November 1st, 1980.
What the fuck?
Michelle Remembers is published. It becomes an immediate hit. and you're never going to believe what happens.
Holy shit, the book wasn't even
Larry
out
and
yet. They
Michelle
got to see the
started
Pope.
this big
Exact. That was the thing was that they were
insane.
just talking about the therapy sessions, and they were and he was getting guidance from the church on the therapy sessions of what she was saying. They hadn't published it, but
See,
maybe
I thought it was like the other way around. Like, you know what I mean? Like the
No.
book had come out and everyone, wow.
The changes you see, I mean, they don't let kooks go visit the Pope, anymore.
Yeah.
anymore. You have to bring a boy with you. Robert Carl Hamish McJenkins. Thank you for the $2. Just as Gummy hearts, chains.
Chain smoke. Chainsaw.
Oh, Gummy chainsaw. Got it.
Oh, nice. Sweet. Love it. Didn't even know that was a thing.
But yes, that was the thing, was that just the therapy sessions, everyone is being so generous tonight. Thank you. I just want to take a moment. Thank you, chat. You guys are being great. You don't owe us anything, but we absolutely appreciate everything. Thank you. But yeah, the church is at this point, and that was the question I thought you were asking earlier, was, were they getting, direction and guidance? Yeah, by the church. The church loved this story. Now, we're going to hear a little bit more about it later, but we got to tell it in the chronological order that it happened, because it'll make a little bit more sense later. But it is now 1980. The book has been published. It is an immediate hit. Canadian Satanists everywhere are cowering in their flannels and their I'm thinking of a bunch of Satanists ice fishing, curling in their weird cloaks and capes. But there's one part of this story that was so fucking unbelievable to me, and we're right about here.
publicity tour.
She was traveling all over the place with this whole book tour, and we didn't think it'd really get as big as it did, but then just, I don't know how it did, it just blew up.
I had a ton of articles.
By the way,
from
that is
all-
Michelle's sister, who's speaking, and this person here was someone who worked for Lawrence.
all the papers and everywhere that they went.
Michelle and Larry were famous. They were famous. Everybody was talking about it. I mean, in the newspapers, she was everywhere.
They start doing a tour where they're doing interviews. Like we said earlier, they were on Oprah, Phil Donahue, and...
I mean, they just went right across the whole country. And when they were on the book tours, they stayed in all these really fancy hotels. They had limousines.
And a game show. They were on to tell the truth.
I, Michelle Smith, was turned over by my mother at the age of 5 to a group of practicing
They should have put her and
Satanists
Satan in the new Newlyweds
who for the next
game.
year held me captive and abused me both mentally and physically as part of a demonic ritual called the Feast of the Beast. After my ordeal, I lived normally and happily until 1976, when a strange sense of unease led me to seek psychiatric help. All the time.
This is real, folks.
What's the weirdest place you've ever made whoopee? In a cage, Bob. Sorry.
No, that was perfect.
That was perfect.
Please.
And I want to see them also like on the Gong Show, like doing an act together, like juggling or something.
Yeah.
No, don't gong us. Ah.
So at this point, all right, isn't this evidence that, like, okay, people were having fun with this idea and it did intrude on some things like later in a weird way, but like that largely people couldn't have been taking this too seriously. I mean,
I would love to say that's true, but we're going to see the direct fallout of this where people took it very, very true as truth when they start doing their tours amongst the psychiatrists, the law enforcement, and then when they're testifying at trials. I would love to say that people thought this was a joke.
I have to think that on the part of some of these prosecutors, it was just a cynical attempt to, find something to sway the juries.
Yeah. Fair enough. But wait till this plays out. Fair enough, yes.
Why is she dressed like the school teacher in Little House on the Prairie?
That was not all that uncommon back then, really.
Yeah, and the helmet head and...
yeah, there's just...
As weird as that looks, I mean, like, it wasn't that unusual then.
For someone who allegedly was like married to the devil, she's definitely not trying to make herself bangable.
And it's just, I mean, it's so crazy. And part of my enjoyment of doing this show is I realize that just sometimes truth, not even sometimes, most times truth is so much fucking stranger than fiction. It is crazy. And to think that, I was alive when this happened. That's crazy. It's fucking nuts to me. But yes, they were on a game show.
Terrifying memories that were buried for so long began to surface and were recorded by my doctor, Lawrence Pazder. And Dr. Pazder and I have told my story in a book called Michelle Remembers.
It's going to be the ugliest one.
In fact, did survive this demonic...
That is sad.
They're not going to cast, one ugly one if you've got,
Does everyone know like the rules of this show? You got to ask 3 people. So the just for anyone who doesn't know what this show was, the show was that they would bring 3 people out and tell the same story, but the fun of the show was that a celebrity guest panel got to ask questions and determine who was the real person. So you had to ask, did this happen or did this happen? And then based on
like a pitchfork,
based on their responses, they would try to determine who was lying and who was telling the truth, and they would try to guess who the real person was. So it would be funny, we see like Charles Nelson Riley and Paul Lynde and somebody else there.
They never had both of them on the same show.
One was always under the table.
One face is all you need, per game.
But it would be funny just asking, so how many cages did they put you in?
How many cages did they put you in?
Oh, that's good. That's a good impersonation.
That was a very good one.
Really
good. Up with Paul Lynde, yeah.
Oh. If you haven't seen my Karmic Paul Lynde series,
what Karmic Paul Lynde series? What are you talking about?
I've made a bunch of thumbnails of Karmic as Paul Lynde.
God,
I'll send them to you. But yeah, it's funny and like it would be, and it gets so crazy. I mean, I didn't watch this full episode, but it would just be funny to see some 70s celebrity saying, "Hold on. They made you eat feces and then you met the devil?" What? Yeah.
What you got to take the bad with the good,
Where do you buy your cocaine?
Possession, and we're going to, who better to pick her out than the co-author of her book, Dr. Lawrence Pazder. Doctor, come down and pick out...
So Pazder comes out as the celebrity guest picker.
The book came out in 1980, and I heard about it almost.
How fucking insane is that? Like, the whole time I was cutting this video, I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was...
Immediately. And she's all over North America and years following.
All right, so now this guy was actually a police chief who was also a member of a coven. Like he was some sort of pagan, I don't know, whatever. He was part of of the occult believer, and he immediately is suspicious of everything.
Following the publishing of that book in front of police audiences, in front of church audiences, in front of community audiences, and they're both being seen as an expert.
I do.
See, goes to what you were saying, Pat. They were literally being praised as experts or promoted as experts. That's insane.
That needed to be shared. It's the average person that with this kind of information, maybe we can make some wiser decisions about the kinds of things that go on. Maybe we won't get so easily pulled into cults.
She was everywhere. They were plugging everything.
What the fuck was she supposed to do about it? Her mother gave her to the
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm really hoping 5-year-olds make better decisions.
I'm talking about blaming the victim,
So they did for at least 2 years. And he was all of a sudden being asked to come and talk. Because apparently now he was the guru of being able to decipher when a child has been abused. So that's when they started the speaking tours for the...
Here we go. They start speaking tours. They're now charging organizations, like reputable organizations, for money to speak to, quote unquote, train these professionals.
Psychiatric conventions.
In 1981, there was an American Psychiatric Association annual meeting, and Pazder talked about the content of Michelle Remembers, and he started generalizing that there was this phenomenon, beyond that particular story, that there was a phenomenon called satanic ritual abuse.
Now, also, I do want to go back to Pat's point about people not taking this seriously. I think that this was being taken seriously. However, I think also very, very shortly after it, people realized how stupid they were. And I believe this little clip here is going to demonstrate.
Satanic ritual abuse was a theory that people took as a fact that there's a satanic conspiracy and there are children who are kidnapped or stolen and sacrificed.
Children are involved in graveyards and crematoria, in funeral parlors, because one of the primary focuses of these people is death. Everything is attempted to be destroyed and killed.
People would come in and they'd be paid to give these seminars.
Oh, man. Come on. It's it's one of these Roger Corman tit movies is what it was like.
I would love to know what the audio was for this. It was just a clip that was included in this movie without sound. But I did find a couple actually of videos from the 80s that were made for law enforcement, how to determine whether a crime had a satanic edge to it.
They really drew those on a little too high too.
I just love that. This made me laugh so hard that to think that like a room of law enforcement professionals watching this being like, yep. That's how it works.
Yeah, I like this movie pretty good. It's nice.
Now, boss, is every satanic ritual murder going to have pentagrams on the breasts? Do I need to look for them?
I mean, it's really, come on, man. Sex sells, right? So the tits are like right there.
And I mean, it's absurd. And it's crazy to think that this happened.
Directed by Russ Meyer.
Yeah.
But it's also right there. What do you feel like is about to happen? You know?
And then I tell you, this was played in a room full of law enforcement professionals.
They had to be giggling. They had to be smirking, rolling their eyes or something. You know what I mean? Like, this is unreal.
It is unreal. It is, I think it's just probably just the best way to say it. It's unreal.
Seminars to the police or particularly the mental health professions. There were just all kinds of seminars, and the problem was that you could get credits for these and they get their little certificate. Now they know all about satanic ritual abuse.
They're getting medical education credits for listening to Lawrence and Michelle talk about satanic ritual abuse.
Well, that's how they, spread it, right? I mean, like, you have to offer an incentive, so they're like, yeah, I took this bullshit thing, so I'm a certified, whatever. I know how to
ritual.
Talk.
Yeah. Oh God, that's funny. I'm curious what they call them. I'm a certified satanic ritual abuse expert. You know what? If it doesn't exist, we're making it now. We're
going to sell diplomas. All right, I'm making diplomas and I'm putting them on shirts.
Skeptical Robot University.
And I do Reiki.
All right, you know what? Luigi, remind me of this. Skeptical Robot diploma stickers. I'm giving them away at Hackamania for free. Free giveaways. You're all getting certified.
Robert Carl Hamish McJenkins. I'm going to get the name down right eventually.
No, you got it.
$2. Is there a Skeptical Robot Discord? No. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I hear people say that, I don't even know what that means. So
now, honestly, if you want to hit us up or anything, we're both on X, and there's a Skeptical Robot X page.
Yes.
We are also old. We don't do all that other shit. So yeah, just get us on X. I mean, hell, I still call it Twitter. We have our own separate pages and a show page. So feel free to
if it's something to help promote the show, I'm all ears, but I do not. I'm a little too old to understand Discord and Reddit. Yeah. I don't really get it.
I don't have the time to
One thing that's super important to remember, I think the field is forgetting, is these people come from cults.
Like-minded social workers and therapists eagerly noted the latest on the satanic threat. Police are also being taught how to spot Satan.
Yeah.
He's tall. He's like a half goat. He's red.
Wait. Big red horns. That's right. Big red horns.
Yeah.
No, just the only description back then is oh no, he's black.
fangs. Oh, you know what? Yes, giant horns, furry bottom legs, hooves. But look at this.
Do lectures throughout the country. In fact, I was in Canada, did a presentation for about 150 multi-agency personnel up there.
We called them Cops for Christ.
Cops for Christ.
Which is COP for short. No, it's not. Cops of Christ. Never mind. Cops. I can't spell.
But this is how fucking crazy this got. And again, I want to make it very clear. This is our first of probably 3 to 4 episodes in which this is all just the birth of the Satanic Panic. Where it goes is crazy. It's fucking nuts where it goes. But yes, this book caused all of this nonsense. It is insane. Jason Hurlitz, thank you for the $5. Cops love those training certifications. It helps with promotions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes
sense.
That is giving it a little bit more sense.
No, I mean it's all kinds of shit like that. It worked just like the pandemic, you know. A lot of it's incentivized, you know, in various
Yes,
things.
absolutely.
In a way, this is less crazy than the pandemic.
I wish I could disagree with that, Pat. I really wish I could. Who knows? Maybe the pandemic will get mentioned here.
I don't mean, I'm not trying to get political, but I mean, like, there was just, inarguably just a lot of stuff accepted on belief and shit like that, and people ignoring, like, I don't know, a certain amount of factual information that came by. But this, I think, the book, it must have just been the spark, you know, that was waiting to come out, because a lot of stuff, there's so many other factors. I think it was like a perfect storm. I mean, like, I don't think it would be accurate to say, like, yeah, in a world where everything else was just kind of like, you know, in context, it makes sense.
I agree. I do agree. And which is crazy to me why you gave the absolute right answer when I asked earlier, like, you know, what was the environment like and what might have spawned this? And you said Charles Manson. Fuck, that's exactly it. It was exactly it. People were scared. People were nervous. People were suddenly forced to think about very, very dark things that had completely escaped their lives for so long, and then suddenly something so dark and disturbing is suddenly on the forefront of their reality. And now it must apply to everybody. But everybody's psycho.
Don't you think this might have been just like a huge public expression of something, or an expression of something that a lot of the public was feeling, which is this like creeping evil, you know, that they felt going on, like as they were exposed to these different things. It's like it's just an outgrowth of that, and then it became oddly specific sometimes. But you know, people were suddenly afraid for their kids, and the cults, you know, like you mentioned Jonestown and stuff. It was like, fuck, this world's getting more fucked up, and or their exposure to the world was greater or something. I don't know, but like it is a simpler time, man, when people would just believe all women like this. By the way, do you think
for a minute there I thought you were getting so serious, and I was like, man, this guy fucking gets it.
Do you think Dustin Hoffman made the right choice? You know, I think he did Tootsie instead of the.
Yeah, he decided to do Straw Dogs instead of this. To Marianne, thank you for the $5. This is the collab I did not realize I was missing. I'm like, man, Pat's fucking great on this show, isn't he? Isn't he great, folks?
Yeah, Marianne, I'll do the show anytime, man. You guys are and you bring everything, you know. I mean, like, it's great.
Well, thank you very much.
And also to Marianne, we actually did Pat's first episode with us was a couple weeks ago, so please look it up. Yes. It was with McDonald's with the hot coffee lawsuits, and he knocked it out of the park there too.
He was great.
I mean, yeah, try not to make jokes out of a burn-up vagina.
A mangled, wretched cooter. Oh, you know what?
That was before the burning.
My wife laughed pretty hard at Gummi calling it Freddy Cooter. The one pun, thank you for the $2. Legend says if you mention pandemic, Gino appears.
If you say COVID 3 times in the mirror, he shows up with a bottle of whiskey.
That is funny. But yeah, I mean, Pat, you get it. I feel like you get what we're trying to lay down, which is people can be fucking nuts. People just can be gullible animals with no coherent, personal, dignified thought.
Oh yeah, I would say they tend to be, in fact.
You know, I just imagine if Scarlett Hampton said that Matt Mead kept her in a cage for Satan, people would start to believe it in this universe.
They'd instantly believe it.
Yeah.
God, it's amazing. And again, I have moments where I'm like, God, I wish I could disagree with that because I really want to.
I would
Jesus,
instantly believe it.
I know, but I'm like, Jesus, you're absolutely right.
Hey, you broke my old cage. I'll buy a new cage.
I am up to buy 17,000 cages.
Please. Oh wait, Tamara Ann. Thank you for the $2. Pat, can you correct them on my name, please?
Tamara?
Tamara Ann.
What is it?
Tamara Ann.
Tamara. Is that not how I pronounce it? I said Tamara, didn't I? Okay, Tamara. Tamara Ann?
I say Tamara. Sorry. Tamaran. All right.
Tamaran.
We got you.
Tamaran. Got it.
Sorry about that.
I think that's the black pronunciation you're doing.
Yeah, I think of like Tia and Tamara from Sister.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I was thinking of too, actually. All right. Thank you. Welcome.
This Texas.
Nice to see you, Tamara.
People who had their own agenda, and they created these seminars and these materials and it's presented as actual scientific confirmed fact.
There was an enormous amount of time spent dragging police into conferences to be taught how to investigate this stuff.
He had faux hawks for eyebrows.
All of that.
If you don't know that guy's name is, I believe it's Michael Aquino or something like that. If you Google him, Michael Aquino, that guy with the eyebrows was actually a general in the army who was a very open Satanist. He's kind of a meme in that he had the satanic look while it was a general or colonel in the army, but he was a very high ranking army official who promoted the Church of Satan.
There should be an episode on that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Michael. Yeah. BS knows Michael Aquino. Look that guy up. But apparently he was very qualified. He was a head of psychological operations, very qualified and educated, and had perfect credentials for his role, but was a member of the Church of Satan.
And worked with the CIA clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
It's Jason
There's
Hurlitz's
a lot of facts coming through.
Aquino was on the Geraldo show. I forgot about that. That is true. He was. And he was very open. He was just very open about it. It was like, I work for the army. There's pictures of him in his army uniform, and it's insane.
It's weird Satanists, isn't it? Because Satanists are like, they believe in God, they believe in Jesus and all that stuff. They just like choose the losing side. Right, by prophecy and everything, like it's like worshiping Avis or something,
Avis. I got that reference. I don't know if everyone will, but big fan here. But you're right, and it's funny because we're going to hear from a representative of the Church of Satan here soon, in that the Church of Satan has a reputation for being this bloodthirsty cult that murders and stuff. But the truth is, their philosophy is simply intended to be a contrarian view of modern religion.
I was going to say, I think it's not about winning or losing. It's just about being rebellious, like how Lucifer was. So
yes,
I think it's contrarian. Yeah. It's more of a rebellion thing than the actual outcome of it.
Yeah. And worshiping the devil is actually more acceptable these days than having a Confederate flag. So
yeah.
Robert Carl Hamish McJenkins, thank you for the $2.
I wouldn't jump out tag for Pat's statement. Felis
spasmodic now follow. Huh? Can't say X. What? Sorry, I don't follow. Feel free to explain. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You write in the chat. I'll put it up.
Yeah, and it can be free. Please don't. You don't have to super chat or nothing. We're all lost.
But yeah, we're gonna actually hear from a rep from the Church of Satan here very soon.
Be directly traced back to the pastor's book and others. that's what fueled that. That's what made that happen.
Take the chat down.
Pastor said that it's very widespread, and he pretty much validated that claim that satanic ritual abuse is a real concern. You know?
Sorry, just got to interrupt the
Up until
video.
1983, I was not aware of any of these cases.
Okay, so now this guy.
It's on the chat, Luigi. I'm sorry, so we could because Pat and I are blocked from the chat. Still on screen.
Wait, what?
It doesn't bother me, but like we're behind the super chat. The super chat.
The super chat from Robert Carl Hermes McJenkins.
They want to be looking at our faces at all times. Just hide the chat.
Yeah,
that's on
weird. That's weird because on mine, I did it, and it's weird that. Huh?
It doesn't matter.
The live feed is showing it, but my feed is not showing it. That's weird.
You've been hacked.
Yeah.
Oh, no. On the live feed, you guys are not there. So, okay, so there's something wrong with EV Muck showing it on your end. But if you look at if you look at the live feed, your beautiful faces are very, very clear.
Thank God.
Maybe if I do this, let's see. Maybe if I go back and then do it, like reset it here. I'm going to show it and then hide it. See if that
now
did
it's good.
anything. Okay, good. All right, cool. All right.
And then it just began to grow and grow and grow. And I kept hearing about more and more.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
He mentioned it was 1983 when he started hearing about these cases.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I should have given this guy. I was trying to give this guy an intro. So this guy was an FBI agent, and this guy is attending one of these, speeches that they're giving. But he was actually, this was his area of expertise. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I should have just said he's an FBI agent. He'll tell the story.
Before you hit play, Robert Carl Hermes McJenkins, that he followed us now each on X, and that's his handle on X. That's what that super tip chat meant.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right, awesome.
Yeah, he explained it. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
We were confused. Thanks, Money. Appreciate it.
I'd say, man, this is some weird stuff. But I would estimate that as time went on, during that time from 83 to maybe the late 80s, I consulted on hundreds and hundreds of these cases. It's known as the Satanic Panic from the 1980s and 90s. And this stuff just spreads like wildfire.
So he basically becomes the FBI authority on evaluating these satanic ritual abuse cases that suddenly have this big skyrocket in numbers after Michelle Remembers comes out. So what he was saying was that before 1983, people weren't reporting this sort of shit. But suddenly when the book comes out, now everyone wants to report it, and they're coming through him to evaluate, because now crimes are seen, or at least reported crimes are being seen with this satanic lens. And now there's a epidemic of satanic ritual abuse.
And as an FBI agent, I could step back and see cases from all over the United States and eventually all over the Western industrialized world.
Police officers all over North America went out looking for this stuff. And all of this was started by this book.
That's crazy.
Before I started on this book, I was at home and I was...
This is Mary Lynn Pasder, Lawrence's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this story.
sitting there watching that show, Sybil.
Sybil is about a woman who goes into therapy, and she gradually remembers really horrific, sadistic sexual abuse and torture by her mother.
God.
The book came out in...
It was a made-for-TV movie. That looked pretty gross, right? It looked pretty terrible.
1973.
Maybe that's the movie I was thinking of. Remember I was saying about something I made for TV movie?
How cute was Sally Field back then? Jesus.
What a cute cat too there, the cat with his head cut off.
I don't appreciate that. That's racist.
My bad.
And then it was made into a made-for-TV movie in 1976.
He said, I want to do the same thing. And he said, I don't want to be just an ordinary psychiatrist. I want to be famous.
So his wife says that while watching the movie Sybil, which is all about a woman's repressed memories, talking to her psychiatrist, that her husband says, I need that. Ah, boy.
So you have the actual Satan working through Pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like what you said earlier, about using the same tactics to manipulate children, but saying that they're in fact using them to protect children. Yeah.
He was probably looking for a patient who would be perfect for this when he found this idiot chick, with the memories and stuff. Like somebody who's highly suggestible, somebody who, maybe has just had a trauma, like she had with the miscarriage.
Very codependent, needs to be tethered, and
yeah. So he saw the movie with that poor little girl with her legs up. He's like, I need that, and then he was like, now who can I make into that? And then he waited. Yeah, good point. Like he had the idea beforehand, and
wow, man, he just took the blueprint and ran with it.
And and
he wrote his fiction across the entire world.
I was trying to yes and Pat, but suddenly my mind blanked. I was just like, yeah, and someone who says, but I digress a lot, and who
has a demon mask.
Yes, the demon mask.
Just like that, and that's when he phoned her and gave her the phone number, and that's...
Speaking of demon mask, with our animations, we have... Gummi's got something lined up. It's pretty fucking great. I can't wait till we get to it.
When it started, it just took off from there.
The phone started ringing in our house constantly, and it was...
All right, someone else picked up on it. Okay, now this is crazy, and maybe also leans a little bit towards. You see, I try not to talk about Carmen Gilly with Pat here, but I guess it's unavoidable. But maybe this story we're about to hear might also bring back some bad memories.
Read Matt's chat. It's the latest one.
Guys, I have digressed memories.
Eating human feces and cannibalized.
Oh yes, he's always about eating shit.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I was put in a cage.
Yeah.
What about the whole satanic ritual he described between Quadfather and Shmuel? And
yes.
Oh God, you're right.
I guess technically a double wide in your parents' front yard is a cage, no?
I guess we get right down to it, though. Feces is the common denominator, and there's a lot of overlap there with everything.
It's what connects us all. But listen to this. This is crazy. And again, I'm going to say maybe this will bring back some bad memories for Mr. Dixon, but here we go.
So usually really late at night, to have a patient call.
Oh, wait.
Sorry. Just like be famous. And he said, I've got a patient just like that. And that's when he phoned her and gave her the phone number. And that's when it started. It just took off from there.
The phone started ringing in our house constantly, and it was usually really late at night, to have a patient calling all the time.
So now a patient is calling the psychiatrist at his home constantly. And even this is Pastor's daughter saying, the bitch kept calling. She went late at night calling. Matt, I got jolly well fucking diddled on my skinflint.
Hi, Cracky.
She made me suck on a can. And it gets worse.
It was just unusual. No patient had ever called before.
When she got the phone number, she didn't stop phoning. She'd phone several times a day. When he came in the door, I would watch the clock. And sometimes it would get to maybe about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then the phone would ring.
Michelle was showing up at all these different things behind us and following us, and
she starts showing up at family events.
It was frightening.
We went to Edmonton to a wedding, and she followed us all the way, and I cried all the way because there she was right behind.
She's following them like fucking Robert De Niro in Cape Fear while they're taking trips to weddings in different, what do they call them? What do they call them there? They're not states. Provinces. They're going to different provinces, and they're looking in their rearview mirror, and she's traveling herself, following them. Like, what about Bob? And this is amazing. And obviously the family is troubled by it, but he's like, calm down. She's fine. She's harmless.
Like she was fed feces as a child. Okay,
I mean, look at her.
They have some wedding cake. She ate enough shit.
They had to build 2 cages to fit her. I mean, come on, listen, have some sympathy.
Look at her. You know she lets me put it anywhere.
His patient was everywhere.
Are you okay? I care about you too, you know, in all of this. I don't just care about me and my problem.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
What is that? That's audio of her saying, I care about you, Doc. Touch my cooter.
You're not just a psychiatrist to me.
You're not just a psychiatrist to me.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, like, look, this is a woman who's not happy in her marriage. Obviously, you know, she's calling this guy several times a day with these. Oh, I just had another repressed memory. Spiders came out of my belly button. I don't know.
You know, I just remembered I met the devil. Did I mention that part? I might have forgotten.
So she had a definite motivation to just keep coming up with like more crazy shit that, you know, so she could get close to this guy.
Yes.
It all comes down to her unsatisfied cooter.
That's always what gets us into trouble.
Damn.
But there's even a little bit more.
We thought this was the story that she used to get his full attention. It had him wrapped around her finger, no question. You know, she was always there, always reaching into our house with the phone, showing up at the doorstep. That
wrapped around her cooter
was the Michelle we knew before the book. To us, she was like the stalker.
I thought that she was deeply in love with him. She just wanted Larry to herself.
That's really funny that the family is saying, this bitch is crazy. She was a stalker. We don't know anything else besides her being crazy. Why would you believe her?
Essentially, this has become a relationship where the boundaries that exist between doctor and patient are no longer there.
Okay, so to your point, Pat, yes, she had an unsatisfied cooter, but maybe also Mr. Pazder was in it for the wrong reasons himself.
He wanted to be famous, like you said.
Dr. Pazder.
And he wanted the cooter.
And he wanted
our first
I was going to say, you know, she's not great. She's definitely got a fucking Bobo Delta Burke thing going on, but I guess compared to his wife, it's like,
I mean,
hey,
don't
man,
judge. I think she's beautiful.
I mean, like, you know, when you're married to a 2, a 5 ain't that bad. You know what I mean?
She's got a fucking helmet head and she looks like a linebacker. Yeah. But apparently he wanted her unsatisfied big squishy cooter.
And when the guy's like bored in his marriage and shit like that, unsatisfied with where he is in his career, you know, then like really when you're married for a long time, I think a lot of times the sexiest woman is any other woman.
Right.
You know.
But what's crazy though is his methods. Let's listen to how he got into her cooter.
Placing a hand on top of her head, and gradually they move from the couch to a rubber mat he has on the floor. So
why does a psychiatrist have a rubber mat on the floor? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with therapy. Let's hear.
They can both lie on the floor together, their bodies touching.
Huh. Now, I want to make this clear. This is what Lawrence wrote in his book. He wrote this as being part of the therapy that he was providing her.
And according to this book, this is very necessary for the therapeutic experience. She's experiencing so much pain, she's in so much distress that she needs to be held in order to continue remembering.
She needs to be held to continue remembering. You know what I think will help put this in your mouth?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know, around that time, my dad started sort of disappearing.
Help
quite
bring
a
up
bit.
memories when I go 3 knuckles deep. It's just like.
And we didn't know where he was.
So now his daughter is saying, we don't know where dad is, but we find hotel bills.
And my mom didn't know where he was.
I just knew all these weird things were going on, and he was making a lot of effort to keep it secret. So I started asking around.
Find hotel bills. He's coming in my shampoo bottles.
Found out one other guy was involved with it.
So his wife decides to get a little proactive and she calls Father Guy. Remember who Father Guy was?
Father Guy, yeah.
He was the priest who was the consultant to Lawrence's psychiatric therapy methods. And she says, what the fuck's going on with this book? And she decides to record the conversation because she had all this equipment around.
Got a first party. I can't even get it.
And his response is, hey, look, don't fuck around. This book's going to be very important. And she, like a very good skeptic, says, important for what? Fantastic question. And his response is, well, I believe for many, and I'm reading this, I'm quoting this, well, I believe for many people to learn about God and the church and everything.
This is the cynical approach to reaching people. You know, it stopped being about truth, and it's like, well, look, even if this isn't true, we're gonna make Satan a fucking banner headline here, you know, and like make it, you know, identify the evil in the world and shit, and make it, you know, something people are talking about.
I seriously need the ding, ding, ding sound. I really do. When you're here, Mr. Dixon.
There you go. Yeah, and it's like, you know, he's like, yes, he is fucking her, but so what? The church.
Yes. I know you're joking, but that is essentially it. He's saying, hey, back off. Look, maybe this isn't the best situation for you.
Yeah,
but
you know,
look at the long-term goal.
Clearly, the covenant wasn't worth a shit to begin with. You know,
exactly.
You know, the fucking is divine.
Exactly. And then
Father Guy said many people are going to be killed and many people are going to be saved. And
so shut the fuck up is basically what the priest is saying to her. Crazy. Hey, listen. All right. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Your husband's fucking another lady.
Falling apart.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sincerely, I'm sorry. Yes, your life has been totally destroyed, but it's gonna be good for us.
Don't be so rude.
It's insane. And then he tries to convince her with money.
You know, there's something wrong up there. And Father Guy told me that they were going to make $1 million. I don't know why these people would follow such a stupid book.
Yeah, it's $1 million Canadian.
And so he says, we're going to make money. Why would a priest say that? Amazing, right? And then I love that little comment from her. She goes, I don't know why anyone would believe this stupid book. This is nonsense. But here is where it all falls apart. They get too big for their britches. They do a cover of People magazine.
One of the first things that came out after the book came out was the article in People magazine. And there she is lying on this couch and she's got her top off. And
jeez. They do a sexy photograph for People magazine.
Should have just done it for TV Guide.
Why would you give that picture in the first place to a magazine? Like, you've got a wife back home. You're really going to get shit for this.
That was heartbreaking to think that he would do that, you know. So I realized that there was no hope for me, that's where his affection was.
Michelle is still married to Doug.
I got so upset that I just went down and filed for a divorce.
So because of that cover of People magazine, Mrs. Pastor is like, save it, dude. I don't really give a fuck what your explanation is. We're done. Which, good for her. I absolutely applaud that. That's great. But also, what do we know about scorned women? They're not happy just winning. Women need to destroy. They need to rip your heart out of your asshole.
In this case, I would argue it's justified, though.
Yeah.
No. I'm not criticizing. I'm absolutely praising her. This is great. So she becomes the advocate to disprove the validity of the book.
She got him kicked out of Planet Fitness.
The credibility. And I love it. It's great.
I forget it.
I'm a cynical person who spent 30 years in law enforcement. I assume that people are lying unless I know otherwise. But a lot of therapists have an opposite bias. They assume that everybody's telling the truth unless they know otherwise. And actually, this becomes a huge aspect to these allegations of satanic ritual abuse, particularly with what's called the adult survivors, and that's what Michelle would be. The things in the adult survivor cases, the stuff was even more weird than it was in the younger kids at the daycare centers.
Bonnie, you were made pregnant when you were 11 years old?
Yes. That child was sacrificed within the cult when she was about 6 months old.
So basically what we're learning here is that now there's a trend. There's a trend among psychiatrists trying to get these repressed memories out of adults. But the thing is, when you ask a kid what happened, the story seems to be so much different than when you ask an adult what happened when they were a kid. Yeah. There's exaggeration, there's embellishing, there's lying, there's just flat out fucking lying. There's attention seeking. It's crazy.
Adult survivors are where you have an adult who goes into therapy without any memories of horrific abuse and comes out with all of these allegedly repressed and recovered trauma memories.
And you would have patients who had essentially the Michelle experience, where suddenly you were logging enough hours on the couch in the depths to qualify as a full-time job, and where a doctor who you trust is telling you if there's anything wrong with you, it was a result of sexual abuse that you had forgotten, and probably satanic abuse, because apparently there's a lot of that, and you can...
Because it becomes trendy, it becomes popular, it becomes something that's going to get you attention if you latch onto it.
Yeah. And they all want their book. I mean, it's like with anything in media, when it's TV shows, movies, video games, one gets popping, you're going to see a bunch of imitations pop up right away and try and jump on.
You're right. And it's sad and pathetic. Mm-hmm. But the story is still pretty damn interesting.
Read about it in this book that was a bestseller. We have so many cases that essentially are the fruit of this tree that Michelle and Larry planted.
There are therapists all over the country today, many of them that are not really qualified to be therapists, that are passing on these stories.
They were salesmen. They were going around the country selling fear of Satan, fear of satanic cults, and they made a living out of it.
For therapy, 13 months of inpatient work for misdiagnosed satanic, ritualistic, everything. For therapy, over $1,300,000 for her. Then they got both of her teenage daughters in. One daughter went in for 11 months of inpatient therapy.
So what that person was talking about was the charges that the psychiatrists were, the money that the psychiatrists were charging in order to simply come out with these repressed memories. And he was saying that someone charged up $1 million. Now, of course, we're taking his word for it. We don't necessarily know that really happened, but he's claiming a specific example of $1 million being charged to a person, and then that person then submitting their own daughter to the same psychiatrist to incur more charges.
Well, I mean, it has to make you feel good that there was a counter voice this quickly.
Yes, that is true. Rumble Trenchcoat, thank you for the $5.
Really funny.
Oh, shit. There we go. Pat's is so much better. Rumble Trenchcoat, thank you for the $5. People Mag, hey, we've got an abused woman who's been deeply traumatized. How should we approach this? A topless photo shoot. That's what the 80s were, folks.
Don't forget to draw the pentagrams on her tits.
Yeah. Yes. And then they put her in a Motley Crue video. Yeah. Crazy.
I think it's very clear that the therapists saw the opportunity to make some money.
Now, believe it or not, this woman here is a representative of the Church of Satan. She seems perfectly normal, but she also has a lot of the counter arguments.
Off of these wild accusations and stories. This wouldn't have happened had it not been for the therapists who compromised their ethics and encouraged their patients to elaborate further and further.
They cut us and made us sign our name in blood in the Satanic Bible. That was the first ritual that I remember.
I was informed that my parents were in the occult.
Now there's a flood of people who want to tell their stories on all of the exact same shows, including Sally Jesse Raphael, that Michelle was on.
They claimed that we had a pizza delivery boy come to our home. We cut him up, grilled him, and ate him.
Did y'all hear that one? That one made me laugh. They said they had a pizza delivery boy. They ordered a pizza. When the pizza delivery boy arrived with the pizza, they killed him and ate him.
Still better than pineapple on your pizza.
Yeah. Why is it all these fucking abused children grow up to be such frumpy bitches,
What do they have to complain about? They were well fed
yeah.
with human meat.
Yeah, the representative of the satanic cult. It's like, first of all, we don't eat feces. Well, not straight feces.
and like, I realize we live in a different age where things
Does
can
this
be.
cult make me look fat?
I realize we live in a different age where like things can actually be fact checked. But it's crazy that people still don't want to exercise that option. But in this time, there were still ways to find out, especially a news organization could have done some kind of search to say, is there any reports of a pizza boy going missing? Like that seems like something that could have been researched before.
Why would they want to jump off the gravy train, though? I mean, they love reporting shit like that,
for credibility and dignity. But I get it. We're not dealing with that. Yes,
I understand. It's cheaper to retract than actually look it up.
Yeah,
like let someone else do the work and prove them wrong.
That's probably true. That is probably true.
I said, I know what you did. You're the ringleader of this cult, and I know you murdered babies. And I know you made me murder babies and eat babies, and I know just what you are. I know you for the Satanist that you are.
So supposedly she's talking about a conversation she had where she told her abuser, "You made me kill and eat a baby." I mean, it's so fucking wacky. It's just wacky.
It is. And, Donahue had some credibility in his day, and Oprah had way more credibility than she deserved. But all these other, like, offshoot, reality TV shows, with each new one, there was a lot less credibility and assigned to them. And I think that, like, by this time, we were looking at it, at least I was, as, like, if there was a woman on there saying that, yes, we ate babies, you made me kill and eat babies. You're like, okay, it's weekly world news shit,
Right.
And then the baby looked at me. If you get this joke, you're cool in my book. It's a Simpsons reference.
So she's saying that she told the cult leader, "I know you made me kill babies," right?
I don't know the full context. It was just a clip.
I was about to say, obviously it's not a true story, but if it was, there's no way they'd let her out of there alive to tell the story.
That's a great point. Great point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sally, most of these women don't come forward until their mid-30s after 5 to 7 years.
This is not a case in which someone has repressed memory.
This is a courageous woman.
If you don't know this guy's name's Bob Larson. He's gonna need an episode.
Oh, didn't he do? Yeah, he's the guy who did The Far Side, right?
I think you're right. Later in life, he decided to become a pastor and defend satanic ritual abuse. That guy is an absolute crook, absolute fucking crook. He does demon possessions and shit like that on the radio.
And did this asshole just say, "See, this is why these women don't want to come out about this abuse"?
Yes, he absolutely did. And what's crazy is that other person. There was a bearded guy who is on the other side saying she's lying. Guess what happens when you call someone who claims satanic ritual abuse? Guess what happens when you call them a liar?
Oh.
They call you a Satanist.
They call you a Satanist. And there's this, I cut clips of it out, but basically he's like, well, I think you're involved. And the guy goes, say what you mean. You're calling me a Satanist. And the guy's like, well, I didn't say that. It's insane.
I'm not saying you're not a Satanist.
That's essentially what he does. Yeah, it's crazy.
I would run into the adult survivors on like the
There you
Sally
go.
show.
Oh, there's Sally.
And so many different kinds of people, including educated people, believed that this was happening. And if you didn't believe it, you were suspect. I mean, at best of not caring about children, and at worst that you are a Satanist.
So this is just a communist thing all over again from like 30 years earlier.
100%. 100%. Yes.
Satanism was heavy metal music. And some of the people who were trying to
There is an
investigate this
there is
stuff,
a difference,
they thought they
though.
were doing
The difference is there were actually a lot of communists in the State Department.
Right.
I mean, McCarthy wasn't wrong about everything,
He wasn't. And what's crazy also, though, about, all right, never mind. I've actually wanted to do a McCarthy episode. It's just hard. It's hard to make that funny until you get to the Roy Cohn part of the story. That becomes pure comedy.
A hell of a lawyer.
Yeah. I've actually wanted to do a Roy Cohn episode. It's just very, very hard to get an angle on it that could possibly be funny. Until you get to the...
He did die of AIDS.
I mean, that's what's great is like, or I shouldn't say great, but what's crazy is that it's so serious. It's so dark. It's so fucking dark and morbid and crazy. And then suddenly has this very funny ending. Yeah.
There's some of that good AIDS too, like Studio 54 AIDS.
Yeah, and like there's pictures of him at Studio 54. It's have you ever seen have you ever
top drawer AIDS right there?
Have you ever seen the maybe not, but it's funny because I find Roy Cohn to be someone I love to read about and watch anything about. Like the guy was a fascinating guy for being such a terrible person, but there was this 60 Minutes interview where I have to find it, but they interview his cousin, and apparently he was very openly gay with certain family members that he trusted. And when he died, I think it was 60 Minutes interviews his cousin, and they're like, "Well, what did you know?" And he goes, "Yeah, he was pretty open about it." And he's like, "Well, what did he tell you?" And he goes, "Well, I didn't really know a gay guy. I never knew a gay person in my life, so I didn't really know what it meant. So one day I asked him, 'Are you the boy or you the girl?'" And he says, and Roy answered honestly, "I'm the girl." And this was on 60 Minutes. It's pretty fucking funny. Anyway.
Music indicators at the scene of a crime involving satanic worship. Probably about 35-40% of calls regularly. Yes.
At the same time, there was kind of I guess you call it a rumor, although it got picked up by the press and it was taken as absolutely as fact, to the effect that thousands and thousands of children were missing. Thousands. Then the next question is, well, why? I mean, who's taking them? Supposedly, the Satanists were taking the children.
Okay, so back to what we're saying about was this credible? Were people giggling about it? Listen to what this police intelligence officer has to say about the claim that thousands of children are being abducted for satanic ritual abuse.
I believe that they do. We can't prove that they do. But as a law enforcement officer, I question 2 million children missing in the United States, knowing that many, many of those are not runaways.
And we're saying 2 million children.
They're buying it. The police are buying it.
Are sacrificed every year in the United States. 3.71 million children are born every year in the States. You're telling me that 54% of the children born are all kidnapped and sacrificed? Really? Like, no evidence of that, folks.
Wait a minute. Is that logic and reason coming into this argument?
Number's a little high, yeah.
Yeah.
The proof that we have had disappears. What proof has disappeared that we had? Okay, a good example is I had baby wax. They make candles out of babies.
Part of this,
they were making. I don't even want to repeat it. Fuck it. It's so fucking stupid. But these are grown adults. These are grown adults telling this to news organizations spreading it, police organizations believing it.
They told that same lie about that other hoax. What was it? The Holocaust.
Well done.
Did we just get taken down?
Right, guys, there was just a complete lack of skepticism. I mean, Michelle Remembers had something to do with that, right?
A lack of skepticism. I need to cut that. That needs to be like a promo.
Because Michelle Remembers, it's kind of, this is what's happening to the babies.
Within Michelle Remembers, they used the term Church of Satan to describe this cabal of vile, terrible people doing these heinous criminal acts, saying that we sacrifice animals, that we sacrifice babies. But the whole point of the Church of Satan, what Anton LaVey founded in 1966, was liberation and embracing our strangeness, our uniqueness, the things that make us different from each other.
So Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, actually starts to get offended by the representation of the Church of Satan in this book.
This is a very selfish religion. We believe in greed, we believe in selfishness.
Anton LaVey blended magic and science and rationality. It wasn't a tolerance, it was a celebration. And that's what Satanism is.
Do you have any little devils?
Oh, yes, I have 2.
Are you going to raise them as satanic kids?
Certainly, but not to go around chopping people up or sacrificing human beings.
So he's basically saying, hey, you got us all wrong. That's not what we do. That's what movies, portray us as. And now you're conveying that as truth.
One of the things that Anton LaVey was
When you look like
particularly
Meng the
miffed
Merciless, you know, it's
about was how Michelle Remembers was marketed, that it was supposedly a true story. He said, we are an established religion protected by the Constitution of the United States. Here they were using it as if we were some international criminal organization. And that's why the Church of Satan brought a defamation suit against.
The Church of Satan brings a lawsuit against the publishers of Michelle Remembers. And when they served it, what did they say, Gummy?
Lawyer up, fuck nuts.
That's right.
in the court of law in 1981.
Sorry, I was eating.
And subsequent printings of Michelle Remembers did take out most of the references to the Church of Satan.
So then so what she just said there is that they make a second edition of the book that's suddenly a little bit more sanitized of the true story and take out references to the Church of Satan.
They call it the Synagogue of Satan.
Yeah.
Why did you think that there were others who would have been through this experience?
Because when I was in that experience, I wasn't the only child. So there had to be others. And I knew this wasn't an isolated thing in just Victoria. I thought maybe there would be, unrealistic 30, 60 people out there at the most, not the hundreds.
It was in 1987, and it was a conference in Richmond, Virginia. I met Dr. Pazda.
Okay, so that FBI agent is now telling about his personal experience with Pazder when Pazder was speaking at an FBI conference.
So we sat in this room, and Dr. Pazda was up at the podium. Michelle was off to the side there. One thing that really got me interested is Dr. Pazda indicated that he thought that most of the alleged cases were a bunch of nonsense.
What? Does that sound right to anybody? Pazder tells this FBI agent a bunch of this is bullshit. A bunch of these cases that you're hearing about are bullshit.
Of course he does. He's the OG. These people are all just like fucking. They're trying to cash in. For me, it's the real deal.
Yeah, exactly. And he's saying, "Look, I'm just the expert, but I'm going to tell you what you're getting in your cases. That's nonsense. Let me tell you the real ones." Real quick, Steve celebrates 12 months of membership.
Thank you, Tiff.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
And also, Robert Carl Hamish McJenkins, Franklin Scandal, DC. Boy Town. Jesus Christ. All right, I didn't even look into that one. That's crazy. All right. We will be doing some research. But let's hear what he has. Let's hear what this age. I forgot his name. Let's hear what he has to say.
But he then said something that I was just tremendously interested in. I'm going to tell you how to identify the real cases. So I said, man, this could be really valuable information because I never was one of those people who believed they were all true or they were all false. There can be a middle ground in here. He would start to describe these rituals and began to talk about Michelle. But cops tend to ask a lot of questions. So the cops in the audience began to raise their hand. What about this? What about that? And I just kind of began to notice that every time somebody asked a question, Michelle never said a whole lot.
Remember we talked about that earlier. The people are asking Michelle questions, and she's not the one responding.
And he would always answer the question. And after a while, after this happened half a dozen times, I just raised my hand. I said, I'm curious, when people ask, this all happened to Michelle, how come she doesn't give the answer, she turns to you? He just said some version of it, I don't remember his exact words, something like, well, when she first came to me, she had no conscious memory of it.
When she came to me, she had no conscious memory of it. Therefore, I'm now going to speak for her. That didn't make any fucking sense, especially when we're talking about how you brought all of this to her memory and that now she remembers it.
I was about to say, because, what happened back down do now? Because if now she has it in her memory, fuck are you talking about?
Seems like a lie.
And through this therapy, this story began to come out over a year or more's time. And then he recorded it, wrote it all down and documented it. And then after that, most of it left her memory, and he was now the keeper of the story. I decided that greatly reduced the value of what he was telling me. So I put my pen down and didn't take as many notes after that.
So now there is suspicion.
I think the lunch break, somehow it just came out. Although he didn't try to hide it, but it came out that Michelle was now his wife.
Oh, shit.
Did you hear that? Michelle is now Lawrence's wife.
Oh, shit. She's repressing that Dirk. Wow.
And that was another factor that caused me to think, well, that's kind of an inappropriate, doctor-patient kind of a thing. How did that affect this story that he's now telling?
We always thought there was a reason why he had to marry her. He's a psychiatrist, and he crossed the line with her. And she had tied him into that lie so tightly with that book.
So tightly with that cooter.
She tied him into the lie?
Yeah, I know.
Tim, thank you for celebrating 7 months of membership.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Welcome. Man, I love
By the way, if I
fucking
can
PM.
give a quick shout out to Tim. Tim got a bunch of merch from my shop. It's awesome.
Oh.
You put some great pictures on X. Thank you so much for the support, brother. Much
Very
appreciated.
cool. Thank you very much for the support, sir. So yes, now this is my favorite part of the story.
That there was no getting out of it.
We're never told that a sexual relationship begins between Michelle and the doctor at any time during therapy. But regardless of what you think about what did or didn't happen or what we're not being told, I think you can take what they say at face value in this regard and still see a wildly unethical relationship.
After they got married, everything stopped. She just wanted a normal life. I know that Oprah Winfrey called. I remember I was there at the house when I picked up the phone.
So what she just said, this is Michelle's sister, says that after she gets married, she kind of settles down, calms down. Oprah calls again, and she's like, nah, fuck Oprah.
It's like mission accomplished,
Exactly. Exactly.
And Michelle,
I got what I wanted.
I don't want to talk to them.
There are thousands of men and women who are secretly worshiping the devil. The devil, if you'd like to join that audience on Thursday when we discuss Satanism. Call now to reserve your seats.
I would love to know how many prank calls that line got.
Daily talk shows. People today, I don't think, realize how pervasive
Oprah, this is Satan.
these opinions were.
Why, doctor, would
Hey,
you perform?
I can prove Oprah's a Satanist because her production company is Harpo, which is her name backwards. So she's doing that backwards shit.
Backwards masking. By the way, remember earlier we said that Maury escaped?
Yeah.
I forgot. He is in this.
Say it ain't so, Montel Williams.
You are not the 11-year-old father.
On a patient who came to you to seek psychological help.
Well, because the patient who was referred to me by the state was a satanic ritual survivor.
At the time, these talk shows
Look at that smug asshole.
would be several times a day, and they were very well respected, but they were all feeding on the Satanic Panic.
Explain to us what really did happen over these 17 years.
They started a satanic cult when I was 5.
Who did?
My parents. They would either kill an animal, sometimes they would kill a baby.
A baby? Where would they get?
It's just so crazy.
Sometimes people in the cult would have them display this. And then when it was dead, then people never ate parts of it.
Dr. LeVay said, I'd love for somebody to call them on their bullshit, but they wouldn't do it because it wouldn't make good television.
In a nutshell, it was a lot of craziness. It was a fearful time. And the one big promotion of it, the one really big promotion of it, was Geraldo's 3-hour program about satanic cult crime in the United States. Of course, millions of people saw it. Millions of those people who had preconceptions believed it, and it caused a lot of harm.
I remember watching that as a kid.
The one thing about the one woman who said that they would have babies just for that, does that mean you had to put a reservation for 9 months for the ritual?
That seems like an awful big investment.
Yeah, you had to put a deposit down and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
These shows were garbage, though. Because they'd be talking about satanic rituals, UFOs. I mean, they made us believe in Satanists and aliens and the Klan. That they're all real.
Hey, remember when that Klan guy smashed Geraldo on the nose with the stool?
Yes, and he had to wear that nose brace for 6 months. Hey, Tim, that's true. That you know what, you got me there. That's true. Thank you, Tim, for the $10. Out fucking standing show. Gummy, love the shirts. Pat Dixon, out fucking standing shows. Also, see you all at Hackamania.
Yeah, see you there.
All right, I feel like that deserves Hackamania. All right, and Mistress Meg, thank you for celebrating.
Hackamania.com. Use promo code Gummy, get 10% off, and I will give you a swag bag with a bunch of stickers, posters, keychains, and other fun stuff.
I also have a promo code, Dixon.
Oh, you do.
And if
nice.
you use that, you get one of Gummi's swag bags as well.
Deal. Actually, I do have stuff for Pat to give out. Pat, I got those the Planet Felicia stickers. I got a stack printed for you to give out at Hackamania.
I'm waiting for the temporary tattoos to come
Yeah,
back.
you got to tell me what you want. I'm gonna get them done.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Smag. Celebrates 2 months of membership.
Thank you, Mr.
Use
Smag.
my Hackamania code, Felicia Gillespie's Cooter.
These women say they speak from personal experience. They claim to be breeders, forced by covenants to bear children.
Did you
That's Gene Simmons and Lucille Ball.
give birth to infants who were sacrificed?
My first two
Were sacrificed?
were sacrificed. I was told it was the highest honor I could ever do as a woman, was to sacrifice my first two.
Part of you wants to think that these people are just flat out nuts. And some
We should just end it right there. Part of me wants to think these people are just flat out nuts.
of them are, don't get me wrong.
The Essex County Prosecutor's Office says
Quote every
26-year-old
black
Margaret
comedian in the
Kelly Michaels
90s.
is a
White people
manipulative,
crazy.
sadistic
Yeah.
child.
Preschool teacher Michaels was convicted of molesting 19 children, molesting them in bizarre ways, and in the middle of this crowded New Jersey school without any teacher or parent noticing anything.
Now, back to the credibility thing. I wanted to keep this in here because supposedly Michelle Remembers led to this teacher being accused of some crazy shit.
They say you inserted objects including Lego blocks, forks, spoons, serrated knives into their anuses, vaginas,
And a sword.
penises, and a
Yeah.
sword. That you made children drink your urine, that you made kids take their clothes off and lick peanut butter off them. It's very hard to believe, yet the jury believed it, and not you.
The jury believed it and not you. Believe that she was putting Legos in little kids' asses.
One juror.
Yeah.
And you need a unanimous jury
That's what I'm
for
saying. They
conviction.
They couldn't convince one juror that no, I didn't force these kids to drink my piss while I
Yeah.
put a sword up their ass.
Or a sword. I would imagine there has to be some kind of physical evidence to support that.
I have questions like,
What,
was
you
it a
talking about
one
the
by
sword with
one
blood
Lego?
on it, or- Sorry.
No worries, you're good.
I mean, that's for that. No, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, like, you'd have to be a very gentle sort of. The insertion would. I mean, how much lube does it take?
Cupcake. What the fuck did I just tune into?
And right before that, he had 14 months at level 1. Well, welcome to 14 months, AC.
You know what you're a part of.
You know what you signed up for.
Friend of the show, American Cupcake.
Yeah.
Welcome, Cupcake.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
finally here. This is an intervention, American Cupcake.
I love this. Lego. Oh no. It's amazing.
I would have thought Lincoln Logs would make more sense.
Ah, Jesus. Duplos.
Only willing to doubt the child.
They did.
So what she just said is when he asked the question, how did that happen? How did they believe it? And she says a very logical answer. Because people aren't going to doubt a child. You know? And that's true. It's a moral obligation, of course, to protect children. And when an accusation that terrible is made against you, your instincts are to believe the child. And now it's an unwinnable situation.
These are all non-parents on the jury because any parent knows that a kid is a fucking liar.
Yeah. And also we're gonna devote one of the episodes to it of how these kids were interrogated about what happened. You realize that these were monsters. These fucking psychiatrist monsters were just implanting what they wanted to hear back from the kids in their brains by saying, did they stick Legos up your ass? You know, like it would be very leading questions like that. And you see kids say, no, fine. Yes. Can I go? I just want to leave. Can I? And that's
how many Legos did they put up there?
Yeah. And I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a sword up your dick hole will leave a mark.
That was my point. Yeah, it's like you're talking about putting a sword in someone, and there was no physical documentation of an injury.
Then they're like, "What? You're demanding that?" No, what? You don't believe the kid?
You're a Satanist. You must be a Satanist if you're going to ask for evidence.
Physical examination? That's insane. You want to look at a little kid's butthole? Okay, okay.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I got a quick shout out. Hang out. We got Taz here. Here, Taz. Here's your love too.
Here, I can...
Welcome.
It's adorable. Welcome, Taz. Rooster, enough to build a Lego mansion.
That's dominating.
Show us on the doll where she put the Lego. Hey, you know what? I'm actually going to applaud this chatter Skyprop for using the proper plural form of Lego. It is not Legos, it is Lego. Well done.
An enormous amount of damage. They ruined people's
That's the
lives.
only
They cost
thing
them
that's the only
enormous
thing you
amounts of
learned
money.
today. It's the plural of Lego.
Yeah. We're an educational show. Remember that. Wait, hold on. Where is
I
it?
know exactly what you're going to.
Shit. I just don't know where I put it. Yes, we are an educational show here. Gotta go. Sometimes you gotta go for the low hanging fruit with the fart jokes. All right.
They put misinformation out there knowingly.
Dr. Paz's ex-wife sent me a letter.
Here we go, folks. This is my favorite part of the story. I said it a little prematurely. So, yes, that police captain was saying that these people were putting information out there knowingly. He's basically on the full side of saying these were fucking liars. They knew exactly what they were doing. There was no, incompetence or negligence here. It was full-on fabrications, willing fabrications. And then a woman scorned. The ex-wife writes a letter to the FBI agent.
She had heard my name was out there and she knew I was looking into all of this. And she said that she could tell me and explain to me how all of this evolved and how all this came to be.
So she basically reaches out to the FBI agent and says, fuck that guy. Let's bring him down. And I'm going to tell you what the real story is.
Well, when you say a woman scorned, I say this is a true whistleblower. I mean, salute. You know what I mean? Like this.
No.
I
I absolutely do. But what I mean by scorned is she's hurt. She was hurt by this. And so I don't mean scorn as in something was wrongfully, or that she's doing anything wrongfully. I think it's perfectly justified.
I always
but
think
the thing
that's
is,
the implication when you say a woman's scorned. There's a cunt. Is that how the saying goes?
My grandma used to say it.
I mean, because she was totally right and brave, to do this, And
Yes.
now, okay, I'm sure she took some degree of personal satisfaction in throwing him under the bus, but I think that's secondary. Listening to this woman, as she said it, I think she probably just thought this was pretty important. I bet you she was so disgusted by this guy that if it didn't involve like the FBI and all this important shit, she probably just would have been like, whatever, go fuck this fucking lunatic.
You know what? Yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, what I mean by scorned is that she was obviously hurt that he was cheating on her. And she was like, oh, no, fuck you. And she wanted to get, and I'm not trying to suggest she's doing anything wrong. I love because she is exactly what you're saying was a whistleblower. She wanted to expose the truth. But yes, she wanted to do it against someone that hurt her. So whatever your motivation is, if you're finding the truth, good on you. And so that's what I have to say about her. But yes, I believe her motivation was, you fucked our family up. Yeah. I'm going to burn your shit down. And so that's what she does.
You cheated on me with a woman who's like an armadillo. You can go down.
We didn't know that people had gone to prison because of the book. And that was, I think, about 1990 that I realized. But I felt that if people were in jail, it's our responsibility to do everything that we can to help those people.
And again, exactly like what you're saying, her motivation is, wait a minute, you're hurting people. I'm going to take some satisfaction in the fact that I am spiting you because you fucked me over. But yeah, we're gonna bring all this down.
I went to the registry. We found out every place she lived, where she was, went to the neighbors, and we gave that evidence to the different.
So she starts doing background checks into Michelle's whereabouts, her activities during the times in which she said that she was being tortured by these Satanists. And she hands it over to this FBI agent.
She did his job for him.
Sort of
yeah.
Give her
There were
a
very
badge.
specific claims. Michelle remembers about a certain period of time, and she named the time, I believe it was 1955, where she was gone. She was held captive by the Satanists.
Okay, so let's remember that. If you remember, in the beginning, we talk about how she talks about 1 year. She says that for 1 year, she was held captive by the Satanists. All right?
And so we thought it should be pretty easy, to see whether we can find her during that time.
We just went to the school and asked them for the yearbook. They have a collection of all the yearbooks. Her picture was right there. They said the picture was taken in the fall. Well,
all they had to do was confirm with the school where she was enrolled. That's all they had to do. No one had done that.
well, she was supposed to be locked up. She wasn't. Her picture was right there. There where she was. So you can't deny it.
Ma mère is really
It's
the Virgin Mary? She spoke in French.
Yes. And I didn't understand French. And I repeated it in French, and I still don't know French.
So if we remember, I cut a little bit out there. This is the section where she's talking about being rescued by the Virgin Mary. And if you remember, the Virgin Mary spoke French to her. Well, that didn't sound right to Michelle's sister.
Throughout the experience, and Virgin Mary speaks in French.
Yes.
I remember hearing my sister on the radio broadcast, and she said, oh, but I never knew French. I was like, yes, you did. You took it in high school, for one thing, and you won an award for it because you were so good. Plus, my grandfather spoke fluent French, and she used to converse with him.
She had a French award, spoken fluently with family members, but gave interviews that she had never, ever spoken a word of French before in her life.
Her pastor is Catholic, and so he decides whatever satanic image appears to Michelle connects to something that literally physically happened to her. And I think one of the things that stories about demonic possession, stories about Satanism tell us is that there's a very clear answer for all of this, and it's God.
My dad was convinced that this was a really big thing. I really think he thought he was on some kind of mission from God.
Now, if we remember all the support they were getting from the Catholic Church, that this was ultimately supposed to have a Christian message, to turn your life around, give it to Jesus, become a Christian. And then the church started supporting them.
And I lost my faith completely. Like, I saw the church as being a part of it. The church is, drinking this in and encouraging it.
We found some documentation about the fact that the book was actually subsidized by the local Catholic Church.
What?
Whether that was a local project or whether it went beyond local, I don't know. But it certainly, seemed like it was an inspirational book for.
They were getting money from the church to continue with the psychiatric counseling in order to write the book. Conflict of interest.
That was in the creating stage of it. It's right, because before the book came out, they went all the way to the Pope, and the Pope's like, what do you want, 10 grand? Get out of here.
What do you need, a boy? What do you need?
Catholics, Michelle remembers, and to the point where the church was willing to subsidize it.
And they got it on tape. The $10,000 donation is for the time that he did the work for the church, is what that says from Father Guy.
Huh. So the Catholic Church is behind this.
Who would ever suspect that the Catholic Church was doing something nefarious and diabolical? Not me.
It's wild.
It's not that I'm shocked that they did it. It's that I'm shocked that they were there from the beginning. You know what I mean? That like the amount of I would full on expect them to hop on the gravy train as it started picking up.
That is evidence to discredit everything that this fucking guy basically went to the church first and said, if I do this, how much you gonna give me? And they said, let's talk. Conflict of interest? I believe so. So, let's see. I got this new sound effect that I'm going to just lay down whenever appropriate.
Bullshit.
Working for the church.
I don't have a problem with Christianity. I have a problem with church.
And I love that. She goes, working for the church. And he says, yes. She was so fucking smart. This chick was smart. She really knew how to get information out of him.
Christianity, it's a business. They're making money, right? And they realize this is a way that they can get it. I know that I can use this information to make you fearful and pay me money. I don't care that it's a lie. I know it's a lie, but it's not important. I need your money. I'm going to get it. I need your attention. I want to get it. I need power over people. You will give it to me because you'll see me as your savior. Okay. Over and over and over again.
Ironic, I guess, is the word that some people would use, that I've been involved in many, many cases involving Catholic priests who are molesting kids. And yet I've had people tell me, devout Catholics, say, yes, these priests who are molesting kids, you know who they are? I said, who are they? They're Satanists.
You hear that? It has permeated the culture of the church and Christians.
Who have infiltrated the Catholic Church to destroy it. Okay.
As the Satanic Panic wound down, like around 91, 92, a lot of it had to do with insurance companies, because the therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists, they were being paid, sometimes covered by insurance companies for this endless counseling. And the insurance companies started investigating. They said, we're not going to pay anymore.
Some of these
So the end of the Satanic Panic comes when insurance companies put their foot down and draw a line in the sand and say, we're not going to pay for this. And suddenly psychiatrists aren't interested in it anymore.
patients.
I like
They
how
have to realize
greed
their
trumps
memories
greed.
I mean, that's ultimately every fucking story. Every fucking story.
Insurance investigators, man, they're no bullshit.
And we need to revisit. You know what, Mr. Dixon? We would love for you to revisit with us what I consider to be my seminal accomplishment with Skeptical Robot, which was the 9 hours that we had to spend to tell the full story of the Amityville Horror. And if you don't know it, 6 different con men were each trying to out-con each other for a piece of this pie. And it is an insane, insane story that just does not get enough attention. But I can't help but feel that this is not very different. But one of the con artists is the church, the Catholic Church here. They're all trying to outdo each other for a piece of this pie of Satanic Panic.
false, and that they had been planted by the psychotherapy. Some of them sued their therapists for planting false memories, and they ended up with these huge settlements.
I could not stand what was happening to my brain and the memories and the thoughts and the pictures.
Remember her? She was the woman that had to give birth to the baby and then kill it and eat it. Same woman.
Although Dr. Olson claimed that he did nothing wrong, his insurance company settled, and they paid Nadine Cool $2.4 million.
I didn't even know. So she got to eat a baby and make $2 million?
And it didn't happen to just us. It happened to our children.
You notice a little bit of a trend here with
Our significant others, or spouses, or ex-spouses, or family. The issue is that counselors and therapists are leading people.
This woman says that her own daughter has accused her of sexual abuse and murder.
Astray and destroying families. We need laws. We need things changed. They need to be made accountable for what they're doing.
Also, things got laughable. There was the church lady from Saturday Night Live.
Who could it be? Oh, I don't know. Satan?
All of this has to do with the changing zeitgeist, and people understood then that this was all pretty absurd and out there.
A bunch of people were falsely prosecuted. They wasted millions of dollars police chasing after ghosts.
All right, we are ready for the jury.
Raymond Bucky and his mother Peggy were the only McMartin defendants to stand trial.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action.
This is the case I was mentioning earlier. I forgot the names. It's Bucky. Mick Bucky, I believe was the name. But yes, they ran a daycare. And this guy went to prison for 5 years before he was exonerated.
Fine. Very defendant. Not guilty.
Preschool teacher Michael served 5 years in jail until this year when her conviction was overturned by an appeals court that questioned the reliability of the children's testimony.
Childhood sexual abuse does happen, but there is something else going on, and that is whether some therapists are actually encouraging individuals to believe in abuse that didn't happen.
A lot of these things simply didn't happen. The thing that really scares me is that As people say, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it.
We're not covering Pizzagate enough to expose the Satanism.
This is what's
We have
insane.
these strange allegations now with Pizzagate and things like QAnon, the idea that
In a world where so many things can be verified, people just want to believe nonsense.
thousands and thousands and thousands of babies are missing. You know, it's all sort of coming up again.
QAnon, with its claim that Satan-worshipping pedophile elites are running our lives.
Oh boy, here we go again. I mean, that's exactly what, oh no, not again.
Man showed up at that pizza parlor with a gun, demanding to know more. And now this has become the center of a national debate over fake news.
I came to realize this story is one of the most relevant topics that you could ever talk about in today's world. It's just not about satanic ritual abuse of children, but this problem of what people believe when there's no real objective professional evidence of it is an amazing thing to behold.
And that is the whole story of why this is fascinating. How can people believe something when there is no evidence to support it? And how can people jump on a bandwagon to believe something? Like, not just, you're not talking about just one person, you're talking about a movement across a continent where people wanted to believe something with no evidence to support it. Thank you, everybody.
It's hysteria. It happens, you know. I mean, you take one hysterical bitch, and then you have two hysterical bitches, and the hysteria is more than the sum of the parts, you know.
It's a lesson in so many different topics, the least of which is psychology. But it's insane. It is absolutely ridiculous that it happens again and again and again. It's with such absurdity, and then a look back with regret. You know, all these, you know, so many people saying, yeah, okay, that happened. Wow, that was a crazy time. And then it happens again. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
I think there's manifestations we see of this, and like I know that we got to go, but like I'll succinctly tell you my grand theory of the whole thing is that all this hysteria, when it becomes about like kids are being molested, Satan, all that stuff, all this stuff we're talking about is a reaction, a subconscious reaction by Americans in particular to creeping communism. And so, you know, that's the undercurrent, you know, and they pick up on it. They don't know exactly what's wrong, but they know something's wrong. So they start thinking like protective of their kids and shit like that, you know, and then they look for reasons, you know, that justify that. But
I can't argue with any of that, Mr. Dixon. Any of it. I believe you are correct.
Wow.
I mean, I'm serious. but the thing is, what's so sad is that we live in a world where identity is so intertwined with religion and politics. And if something is going to undermine someone's politics, they jump to religion. If something's going to undermine their religion, they jump to politics because of an identity. And so you might have been joking, but I don't think you're that far off from the truth.
I really wasn't joking.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, but it isn't a theory that I ever had in the past, but I think like it does make sense that way, you know, that you see.
It absolutely does.
And it becomes a self-perpetuating thing. People see it in the news or they see it in a movie, and then it just becomes, you know, it's a snowball. But it does have a legit beginning. And I think the intensity of the fear, it will match the intensity of the reaction, or vice versa, rather.
Or the absurdity. The absurdity of the action. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time here, Mr. Dixon. We are absolutely always so happy and privileged to have you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for contribution. We just hope that we are able to give you a good time when you're here.
I love being here. I love being here. It's really informative and interesting, and like you said, it is educational. I mean, I probably could get college credit for this if I was in school.
You're going to get a certification from the University of Skeptical Robot and being a satanic ritual abuse expert now. Yes, you absolutely are, sir.
I need something, man, to update my resume with.
It's in the mail, and we expect to see it on your refrigerator.
I expect to see you guys at Hackamania. Promo code Dixon. Whatever.
Hey, please plug anything you like, sir.
That's it. Hackamania, promo code Dixon. Use that for your 10% off on tickets. And yeah, I can't wait to go back to Vegas again. I'll be doing New York City Crime Report here in about an hour or two live. And I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry if we kept you too long.
No. I wouldn't let that happen. No, I don't prepare for anything. Not like this, man. You guys do such great preparation. and it's really fun to do the show for that reason. So anytime.
You are welcome
Thank you
anytime,
so
sir.
much. Yeah,
And thank you very much.
Yeah, and as soon as we're done here, I'll send you the video in a G drive so you have it to use for however you want for the Fun to Talk commercial.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. I'll see you guys later.
Have a great one. Thank you. Folks, that was Mr. Pat Dixon, and we are still just in absolute disbelief that he likes us.
I know. I know he doesn't like when we pretty much suck his dick on camera, but still, I mean, the dude he's fucking awesome. And I always say I'm still shocked he didn't come here and see when I was a cat dressed as Ronald McDonald and he wasn't like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
I'm a little surprised myself. I'm surprised he gave us an opportunity and we won him over, and I'm proud of that. So yes, Mr. Dixon is welcome here anytime. And we just really hope that we show him a good time while he's here. But that goes for all of our guests. We want all of our guests to have a good time when they're here. Thank you, Dang Lizard, for the €5. Crymax,
Seriously?
Gay Songs from the Valley of Men, an AI K-pop album to replace Karmic's 8 songs with. Hey, soon after the show. Fantastic. Can't wait for that.
Oh,
awesome.
Actually, you know what? Now that you say that, if I can announce for next week, Luigi.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We are going to do next Saturday. We don't know a time yet. Not tomorrow, Saturday, the following Saturday.
It'll be the 17th.
Yes. We are going to have a karmic dance party. So please come on this channel here. We'll be here live. I'll be remixing his songs. I'll be making a bunch of dance versions of the songs that I have. Be making new songs. No, Piss Wife, that sounds perfectly right. I meant come on with us. Yes, I meant it all. So we're going to have a karmic themed dance party. And Dang Lizard, if you don't mind, let me know either here or in DM if maybe we can use a track or two of yours into it. We're going to make like a 60 to 90 minute party. It's going to be all have like fun backgrounds and us dancing. And it's going to be like a little club night with featuring music, making fun of karmic. So please,
it's going to be pretty cool. If not, at least visually and audibly stunning.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be fun. And doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Wait, let's see if we can time this. Let's see if we can time this to make it like musically sound good. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. There's got to be a way, yeah.
I'll work on it.
Thank you for the $5.
He said feel free to use it. That's what it's there for. All right, we'll definitely incorporate it.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
So, yeah, guys, please. And we mean it. We're serious. We're going to have a karmic dance party. We're going to have a nice night of dance music and just hang out and just chill and chat. Won't be any talking. We're just playing music and just hanging out with you guys and just fucking partying. So please join us. Thought it'd be something fun and different to do.
And let's see. Great show tonight, guys. By the way, I'm so high right now. I'm seeing cute little demon cats. Thank you, Doopa-Doopa-Doo.
Hold up. Doopa-Doopa-Doo.
Can you make the cat dance?
No, he does only the humanoid.
Oh, okay.
So, but I could make the dinosaur. That's Twerkosaurus that I do.
I want to see that. I want to see the cat dance.
No, the only dances I have. Piss Wife. It'll be a week from tomorrow when we do our karmic dance party.
Yes, a week from tomorrow.
Yes, this is Meg, an old-fashioned sock hop. Exactly. A cock hop, if you will.
Folks, please also check out our snipes of karmic. Although, if you notice, the past couple times we've done them, he has gone off very quickly after we start doing them, which is still pretty fucking funny. But Gummi has created characters to make it interesting, to keep
like all the different
to keep karmic interesting, because he is not interesting on his own right now. So yes, we've done, let's see, we did Carmeep X, which was Beaker. Then we did Carmax Headroom. And then what was the next one after that? We did, shit.
Was it the Muppet? Muppet X?
Yes, that's right. It was Car Muppet, or what did we call him? Was it Car Muppet?
Yeah, Car Muppet X. Then we had South Carm.
And then South Carm. And then today we did Eric Karmic. Eric Karmix.
We did a Simpson one too, right? Didn't we do?
Yeah. That's right. We did Carm Simpson.
Yeah. and we have a few more, and I'll make more here and there, and they'll be rotated. I know certain people here have their certain favorites, and they've made it known in chat. But my idea behind it was like, I didn't want to do just one, because then that shit would get like OD stale mad quick. So I figured
boring. He's fucking boring. he's boring on his own.
changing the visual around of each version, it'll, lighten things up and make it more different. Because he's saying the same shit over and over.
It's so awful. It's sad. I do kind of want him to get drunk again, but whatever.
Don't worry, we'll make sure we promote the dance party on X, and I'll make a thumbnail soon so Luigi can just put it up to make it ready, and don't worry.
We'll make it fun.
I'll make sure to remind you. I'll DM you if need be. I got you.
We just want our audience to have fun. That's all we want. And,
we just trying to get some ideas and just trying to make shit different. And I have to echo to an extent Rocco / Tukey. I'm fucking burnt out on the Dabbleverse shit. So
I agreed with every fucking word he said.
Yeah, I mean,
every
he was
word.
also joking, tongue in cheek, but there was some seriousness in it. Sorry. So we want to just do different shit and fun stuff and just fucking be silly, man. The world's too serious. Too many Satanists.
We need more laughs and more variety, and that's it.
Yeah.
However those come, we're all aboard for it. But yeah, man, just the staleness of the viciousness, the evil stuff going on right now in the Dabbleverse. Not a fan. Don't care about it. Not interested. I want to have fun. So whatever we got to do to contribute to that and help everyone else have some fun, we're going to do. We hope
And
you
if
like what we do.
people say this is dumb and silly, yes, and we wouldn't have it any other way. I'm sure other people get offended by that, but we're like, yes, it is. Thank you.
We're fine with that. That's our brand. We hope so. But everybody, we want everyone to get back to your lives and your family. Thank you so much for spending the Friday with us. Thank you for the amazing generosity tonight. It is just so much appreciated. We appreciate every single bit. You don't owe us a thing. We just wanted want everyone to have fun. That's it. But before we go, please plug away.
Yes. Follow me here. I actually finally, for the first time in about 3 months, have a new episode of Chummy Game Saw coming out tomorrow at 2 p.m. I finished shooting already. I just need to edit it. Hackamania, please promo code Dixon. Do his this week. Use mine next week. Get 10% off. And I am also on a Supertip. Supertip.gg/gummy. Gummi. All my shows are pre-taped, so I'm only doing tech stuff, but you don't have to do it. By all means, just come hang out, watch gaming, just hang out. We appreciate it, but you don't have to do any of it for any of us. And I promise you, I will get Luigi on Supertip as well. Because I know some people in chat today even brought it up. They want him on it. So we'll get it here.
My issue is just what voices would we use? It's just
we don't even need to use voice. We can just do text.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
all right. I'm cool with that. But I do feel like we need to have a voice, or maybe two, but just it's hard to decide what it is for our content.
We got to have Anne Frank Dukes.
I agree, but I feel like it's going to take a lot of work to decide what her voice is. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever.
Give her an accent of whatever country she's from.
All right. And for me, folks, next week we are back on schedule for unboxing. Monday, check out Edge Files. It's going to be here on our channel. Also, Once Over with Kaylee's channel and All Apologies podcast. We are going to be discussing the disappearance of Susan Cox Powell. It's an amazing story. Very, very crazy. Very dark, though. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we are back to our schedule. Unboxing Eric, unboxing Bigfoot, and unboxing Riley Martin. Stop by. Check us out. Have some fun.
That reminds me. We don't know when we're going to do it, but we have the idea. Myself, Dylan from somewhere, and Luigi, we're going to do a version of kind of like the unboxing, but we're going to do it with Opie and Anthony stuff because Dylan and I are O&A guys. So we're going to do that and Luigi just kind of got into them. So we want to show him our favorite bits. So it's going to be our own version. We have an idea for a name. We're not sure yet. We don't know when we're doing it. So this isn't going to be a next week thing. This thing will probably want to be till spring, but just to let you guys know that's something else we want to be doing.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And if you haven't seen Dylan from Somewhere's episode from last week with us on it, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a public episode. But if you have a membership to Dylan, you could watch last night's episode I was on when we were watching Speed Dating, where there was a methed out woman with no teeth talking about how she gums dick. Yes, that happened.
And it was insane. She goes, I spit on that shit.
She was great.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much. We love every one of you. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Please hit the like button. Please consider becoming a member. We have a lot of shows behind the paywall. We hope you enjoy them. And next week, we will be continuing this topic of the Satanic Panic. But the topic is going to be Dungeons and Dragons. You nerds.
Yep. And I have an idea that I haven't told Luigi yet, but something I'm going to do. It just hit me.
Oh, boy. All right, everybody.
I'll say it now. I'm going to get some chat interaction. I'm going to have you guys roll dice, whether it's virtual or not, and you're going to help me build a character for my next D&D run. Chat, you guys are going to do that for me.
I don't know what those words mean, but I will let you teach me next week. All right, everybody. We love all of you. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Have a great week.
Good night, all.
See you next Friday.
Deuces.
That's right, it sucks.